Guess I should probably turn a light on. That light in the background is gonna be. It would light me up quite a bit more if that light in the background wasn't there. I guess I probably better go turn the lights on, which is a good idea, anyways. I need to get my headphones on here. Yeah, they're on. Fable. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Fable. I welcome you, YouTube, to another episode of this wonderful, wonderful game. I will get started here in a little bit, but I'm going to give Twitch a moment. I know those Twitchers, right? Doggo! Here. Hey, Doggo. Come here and be a doggo. Oh my gosh, so excited and ready. Yeah? Yeah? Oh, you're still shedding. I just brushed. You're such a shedder. You are. You're such a shedder. Oh, you're a doggo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the doggo wants to rope play. She wants to rope play. Yeah, I know. That has nothing to do with Fable. Nothing. It's not beetles or woods. Nothing. Oh. 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 You'll play with me. Don't you dare. Dare not play. Yeah, I know.
In a faraway land, in a world lost to the mystery and wonders of strange beings and magical creatures, came the dawn of evil, deception, and betrayal. The Mechubars were a race of astral beings like luminous orbs, who had come to the world of Balkane to create a civilization filled with beauty, wisdom, and absolute power.
I don't think I've uploaded
all
the first part to YouTube yet. I will do that tonight. I made the highlight, but I don't think I uploaded it. I was waiting for the highlight to actually create.
It was on this dark winter
so
night
I will upload it to YouTube
that
after
four
this.
conspirators were condemned to rule the destiny and eternal
You'll get 2
damnation
episodes
of the people of Balkane.
the same day. That happens a lot.
If I remember the legend correctly, there was a young priest in the cult of Mechubars.
Was there?
Was the only one to really know the secret.
We're gonna give it another 2 minutes, YouTube. So if you're curious as to when the heck is he gonna start playing this game rather than just sitting here at the title screen, well, 2 minutes. Go 2 minutes into the future. I'm gonna wait till 7:05. That's when I'm gonna start. I know what I missed last time. I will tell everybody that right now. If you're sitting there on YouTube, you might already skip this. But I do know exactly what I missed. So we will not be lost. We will not be lost. I don't know if I've ever listened this far into the song before. Alright, so when last we saw Quickthorpe, he had thrown oil at the ice giant and then ran away because he didn't have anything else to do after that. Because Quickthorpe was unaware that in his adventures there was an entire screen that he had not gone to. An entire location he could visit that he had not done. Over here, there is a walk to the top of the ravine. It's just right there. Why is that right there? I don't know. It's pretty point and clicky with that one. That's a pretty point and clicky thing. Takes you to the top of the ravine. What's on the top of the ravine, you ask? Not a lot.
The spires of an enchanted castle can be seen in the distance. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
There is, however, this.
This guy must have frozen to death. It makes me shiver just looking at him. A sulfur stick? It's too bad he didn't make a fire. It might have saved his life. Lucky for me, this sulfur stick is still dry. He won't be needing this anymore.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
And now we have a sulfur stick. And we can walk down the ravine. Literally the only thing there. And now we can come over here.
It's the sulfur stick you took from the dead guy on top of the ravine. If used properly, this sulfur stick could make a super Molotov cocktail.
So now we will take it, and we will use it with the ice giant. No more ice giant. That's simple. There's not even anything said about it, not even anything to do with it.
Several arches lie hidden in the shadows of the palace arcades.
That's it. In we go.
The statue is shooting out high-energy photon pulses from its eyes. You better be careful.
You better be careful.
I don't see anything else of interest.
There's a small flame warming the throne room to an ambient 0 degrees Celsius.
Nice.
That's a nice-looking bird.
It is also a friendly bird.
Any ideas on how to get past the laser beam?
I suppose you've got to either turn it off or deflect it somehow.
So, clearly, we'll just not. Oh. 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 Okay, so the answer to this is actually pretty simple, and I always thought this was a pretty easy puzzle. The answer is to take the shield and use the shield.
That doesn't do anything.
Well, I guess with Quickthorpe. And you just block it once and it just stops firing entirely. And we actually still have the shield.
It's the polished and shiny version of the old rusty battle shield.
Exactly. It's a mirror shield puzzle. That's why I think it's easy. That's fair. Fair enough. But, you know, I always thought that one was kind of easy.
Gold, money, and jewels lie on the floor below the throne of the dead ice giant. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
There she is, just for the taking. It's crazy how a piece of green rock could be so important.
Well,
1 down, 3 to go.
got it.
That's a nice-looking bird. Am I finally going to bum a ride out of here with you, or what?
I'm at your service, but I don't intend to fly on an empty stomach.
Oh. Well,
It's a red-hot chili pepper talisman.
I have a chili pepper talisman. Do you want
I'd
that?
say you're a bit short on ideas, trying to pass off junk like that.
Oh.
That would be a completely senseless thing to do.
Do you want a fruit?
For this gift of fruit, my heart goes out to you, and so do my wings, for you have now earned your passage to another land.
Ah. And off we go. Welcome to the second area of the game. We cannot go back. We can't. No matter what, how far this way we walk, we can't go back. We are here. We are here now, and that is all there is to it.
Whoa there, boy. Where are you going?
I meant to look at him.
I'm picking mushrooms and berries, thank you.
Sounds like fun. What can I do for you?
Do you know anything about some stolen jewels?
You're not the first mug that's coming around here asking questions. I don't know nothing about no jewels.
Not?
Can you tell me anything else about this place?
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Great. Thanks for the tip. Do you know a good place to get some lunch?
Sorry, I never eat out. I get all my cold cuts delivered. But I do know of some places where if you're not careful, you'll be someone's lunch.
In that case, see you later, alligator.
Raskal is a formidable lizard guard. He is hard of hearing and also has a sweet tooth for stiff, soggy carcasses.
I'd like to get my hands on those keys.
I thought I told you to keep away. Whoa there.
What is this strange land of purple haze?
You're standing at the frontier of the land of mists. This is the domain of Angor, the snake demon. And pray tell, who are you?
My name's Quickthorpe. I've come to kill the snake demon.
Sounds like you've got some big ideas for little guy.
Can you tell me what's in the tower behind you?
That's top secret. I got strict orders, see. No one gets in, and nothing comes out.
Do you know where I can find Angor the snake demon?
I'm not at liberty to tell things like that. But I've got this friend who comes by on occasion. In fact, I haven't seen him in weeks. He gets around a lot more than I do. You should ask him.
Yes, I see. Well, you just keep up the good job and I'll be moving along.
The swamp is teeming with all sorts of foul life forms.
Alright, well.
I thought I told you to keep away.
Oh, I can't even go up the staircase. Okay, well.
These majestic mountains are the great divide between the frozen lands and the land of mists.
I guess we're going this way. Ah, City of Mists is up there. Stairs of Mists. The Spider's Platform. Great. To the swamp path we go. And if I recall correctly, if we go this way, well, you already know the answer.
Child, don't even think about getting by me till I'm through with you.
But I'm just...
Let's not be long on words. Listen, sugar, I got some sweet sounds to soothe your soul.
Wow, what was that? I'd like to try it again.
Oh, huh. There's another one of those I'd like to try it again things there. Also, notice the Star Trek The Next Generation transporter sound for us getting knocked out by the drum.
The reeds have been thriving in this swamp for many years.
So we must already have what we need then. You want a fruit?
I'm not interested in your junk.
Oh.
It's the spirit of Cymbeline.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, okay. Fine then. What do you mean you're not interested in my junk? I got a lot of junk.
You again? You should be dead.
What's that thing you're sticking in your ear?
It's a hearing aid of sorts. It doesn't work so good, but it goes with my uniform.
Real chic, but it looks more like a horn or trumpet if you ask me. Does everybody here look like you?
You must mean Jemima the Swamp Queen. You're lucky to be alive. She must have taken a liking to you.
Why does she beat that drum?
That drum is no ordinary drum.
What makes it so special?
It's that hypnotic sound turns you into a zombie.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Okay, he's not gonna let us go.
I thought I
by
told
him.
you to keep away.
Is there something on that screen I can get to that, without waking her up, that he would, like, want?
Under the bridge lies a poisoned possum. Not very good for the digestion.
It's a rotten, stinking, dead possum. Do I have to? It's slimy and it stinks. Well, why not? It's kind of cute. Those trees are dripping with poisonous sap and moss.
It's a dead possum. It's kind of cute. Oh, yeah? Quickthorpe, I think you got a problem, bud.
It's a dead possum. I don't see anything else of interest. Would you like a soggy possum?
Well, I normally wouldn't while on duty, but that's an offer I can't refuse. And to show my appreciation, I'd like to give you this useless hearing aid in return.
Thanks a lot. I can't wait to try it out.
I thought I told you.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's the lizard guard's hearing device. Upon examining the strange hearing aid, Quickthorpe discovers some smelly green plugs.
Oh.
It smells like wax from the lizard guard's ear.
Yummy.
I can't hear a thing now.
Well, now that he can't hear a thing, we should just be able to kind of not bother with her at all. Doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I declare, child, you sure know what's good for you. Now you just sit still and Jemima's gonna make you feel all better.
That for some reason defeats her. I don't know
Looks
why.
like an ordinary old drum. It still looks like an ordinary old drum to me.
Still, it's just, it just looks like a...
Quickthorpe now owns his first musical instrument. It's too bad he's got no rhythm.
No rhythm.
The mountains are the only safe place to be, high up within the walls of the ancient city. But even there are no guarantees.
Those trees are dripping with poisonous sap and moss.
In the distance is a large platform, looking like a giant nest.
Which I'm pretty sure we can't do a damn thing with, so let's not. I think we need to go use the drum. Although I don't know if it'll work because he's hard of hearing, so hard to say. Maybe we need to give him his hearing aid back now that it's not plugged anymore. We'll try that actually.
I'm not interested in your junk.
It was your junk,
I don't think that's a good idea.
Jeez.
It's the Swamp Queen's hypnotic drum. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest. Why would Quickthorpe want to do that?
Cool. So now he's down and out.
I could do a lot of damage with that bamboo spear.
A spear made of bamboo from the swamp.
This spear might come in handy along the way.
So we're just gonna put him
He's
to
out
sleep
cold. I better act quick. I should do something while he's not looking.
and just
Just
rob,
like taking candy from a baby.
just rob him completely.
It looks like the way into the tower.
A closer look reveals nothing more of it.
Because that is Quickthorpe for you.
It's a long brass key.
We'll take that key and use it on the door, and in we go.
I wonder what's in that flask.
Upon examining the flask, Quickthorpe discovers that it is empty.
Even an empty flask could come in handy.
It could, yeah.
There's an axe hanging on the wall. I could do some real damage with that axe.
We could do some real damage with the axe,
This
too.
axe will definitely come in handy.
Cool.
There's a small hearth for stoking a good fire and heating grog.
We could do a lot of damage with the spear. We could do a lot of damage with the axe. We can just do a lot of damage now, you know?
An old blanket is lying on the floor.
I don't see anything else of interest. I kind of like this old blanket. Those vases don't interest me at all. I'd rather not look in that box. I couldn't be bothered. I think I'll leave it where it is.
Why?
I'd rather not look in that box.
Rascal's bed is untidy and not very clean.
I'm not very sleepy at the moment.
Alright, we'll look at the big thing that's obvious in the
A
room.
cage in the far corner of the room is glowing with a warm light.
There's something alive in that cage. Is there anybody in there? Is there anybody in there? I'd rather not do that. I'd rather not do that. There's something trapped in that cage, but I can't get to it yet.
Can we... like...
It's the key found in the ogre's cave.
Yeah, we'll just use that.
I
on the
don't think
cage.
that's a
That'll
good
clearly
idea.
work. No, of course it won't. I don't know why I get to keep this key. I don't need it. It'll never get used again. Took the other key out of my inventory, but not this one. This key stayed in my inventory.
It's the knife that Quickthorpe stole from the dead bandit.
Do we use the knife on the
I don't
cage?
think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
I get that. You don't think it's a good idea, and I'm okay with that.
A cage in the far corner of the room is glowing with a warm light.
There's something alive in that cage. Is there anybody in there? There's something trapped in that cage, but I can't get to it yet.
Yeah, I think we just straight up can't get to it yet. You maybe use the axe, but I don't think so.
A long, winding mountain path leads up to the gates of the ancient city.
Up we go! Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Quickthorpe is on his way! A-do-do-do. He's going really long ways. You can actually double click to make him go faster, but
A large circular design decorates the spot, with the best scenic view in all the lands. It's too bad Quickthorpe is too busy to enjoy it.
It's those strange markings again.
Again, huh?
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. It's those strange markings again. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Alright, fine. It's not a good idea. Gotcha.
It's a vase.
Yep, it's a vase and it's filled to the brim with water.
Cool.
Quickthorpe takes the vase filled with water. A small collection of vases has been placed by the circular platform.
See, you just take everything in this game.
It looks like the squirrels have been busy. I'll just help myself to one of these nuts. I don't see anything else of interest.
But then there's this, the broom handle.
That's odd. It doesn't look at all like a broom handle. It's a kind of stick or lever. I must have triggered a secret mechanism.
Secret lever mechanism.
This place gives me the creeps. I'm getting out of here.
And we're out. So we're not allowed to go down there yet. He's just straight up like, nope. Don't like it. Not doing it. We can't do anything about
An old fortress known as the Ancient City can be seen in the distance.
Okay, I think that's actually it. I think we just walked to the old city in the distance. Ah, yes. I remember him now. We definitely don't have what we need for this.
Hold on there, little guy. Nobody gets past the mighty Titan.
You really look more like an ice cube to me.
Then try this in your drink.
Let's see you try that again.
It would be my pleasure.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now. So you'll notice that these all press. Each and every one of them. All you can do with them is walk. You can't examine them at all. There's no examining of them.
I don't trust that guy's smile.
Yeah, me either.
This jolly-looking character is known as the Titan of the Mists.
Cool. Well, we can do nothing with the Titan of the Mists. We do not have what we need to deal with the Titan of the Mists. It is happening. You are correct. Yeah, see, if you double-click, Quickthorpe goes to double speed. Not on, like, normal maps. You can't double-click on, like, screens to go double speed, but on the world map, you can...
In the distance is a large...
We're gonna go to the spider platform now. I don't know if we have exactly what we need. I think we do. I think this is easier than it seems. But I could be wrong. And I'm sure there's lots of ways to die right here. As in, probably basically one, but...
Anything crawling out of that hole has got to be big. A big spider makes a big web. That's a big friggin' spider, and I'm not getting any closer to her. Okay, that's it. She does not want any new friends.
Marissa is extremely unfriendly. Quickthorpe should avoid her cruel appetite.
I better not get too close. I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now.
I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe you legitimately just
Why
used...
would Quickthorpe want to do that? Why would Quickthorpe want to do that?
Because it's a big evil spider. That's why. Okay, so I was wrong. I was wrong.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Let's see if she likes some music.
We use the horn. Let's see if she likes some music, huh?
That should keep her down in her hole.
I don't know how or why that's going to keep her down in her hole.
That's
But
not exactly what I had in mind.
yeah, not me either, actually.
I wonder if that's the lizard guard's friend. Or at least what's left of him. Wow, there's a small gold key attached to those bones. Now, I just got to figure out what this key's supposed to open.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
Quickthorpe is now the proud owner of a piece of spider web.
Anything crawling out of that hole has got to be big.
That is beyond the range of Quickthorpe's natural abilities.
I mean, I guess. Alright, so I guess all we needed this entire time for this was the horn. I could have just come up here at any moment, but, you know, hey. I did not remember that all we needed for the spider was the horn. But apparently all we needed for the spider was the horn. That was it. This area is actually, like, really fast and easy. I remember as a kid I got stuck here, but I only actually remember getting stuck here on what to do at the very beginning. Like, before you could, like, how do you get the ability to get past Drum Lady is what I was always stuck on. Because you have to find the possum, right? And once you find the possum, he gives you the horn. What the heck's the horn do? It doesn't do anything. You have to, like, examine it closer to get the earplugs. And that's the part that always
A cage in the far corner of the room is glowing with a warm light.
The rest of this part of the game is, in my opinion, really, really, really smooth and not hard to do at all.
Ah, freedom at last. It's been so long since I've been cooped up in that cage. I'm just aching all over. Dear me, my manners are simply awful. How can I ever thank you?
It's Quickthorpe.
How about we get more comfortable?
Not so fast, big guy. I've just gotten out of my cage.
What were you doing in that cage?
I was locked up in there, you silly. I've been in that cage ever since that horrible snake demon decided that I was dangerous.
Why has he done such a bad thing?
Because he is evil. Pure evil.
Yeah.
Like all those other horrible demons ruling over these lost lands. Oh, my dear Quickthorpe. If only you knew the danger you and your people are in.
But I do. That's why I'm on this journey to take back the jewels from those beasts who stole them from our people. And I'm going to kill those beasts if it's the last thing I do. They're to blame for the way things are.
My dear Quickthorpe, the beasts which you speak of are not the ones truly responsible for what has happened to your people. The true legend goes far back to the ancient times when the Mechubars ruled this world.
The Mechubars, who are they? And what is that supposed to mean, the true legend? I've already found the emerald after killing the ice giant of the frozen lands. Is that not proof enough?
You must be very careful with this emerald. It must not fall into the wrong hands. If my suspicions are correct, there's someone else even more dangerous than you can imagine behind all of this.
Oh?
I can only hope that you will not fall into the same trap as the others did.
The others?
But what others are you talking about?
I am speaking of the very same beast that you must now destroy.
Oh.
But there is an even greater one who will destroy your people if you're not careful.
Oh.
So you're telling me things aren't looking so good for me?
There is still a chance. I want you to take this powder. It will help you and protect you. Use the powder wisely. And don't forget to mix it well. You must now go quickly to the ancient city in the highlands. There you will find Izion. He is wise and can help you. Izion will have something that is very important to you and the destiny of your people.
Okay.
Iris is a magnificent creature. And although it doesn't show, she's been round the block a few times.
Scared.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now.
Fine. Be that way, Quickthorpe. Don't talk to anyone or anything right now. You guys are gonna love how you deal with the snake demon. It's just gonna love it. You're just gonna love it. Trust me. All right, so we got this powder, right?
It's Iris's magic powder. Iris's magic powder is a mixture of rare explosive salts.
Rare explosive salts. So is gunpowder.
Iris's magic powder is a mixture of...
You know? Hold your horses here. So we have a vase full of water, you may remember.
It's a vase filled to the brim with water.
That doesn't do anything.
Okay.
I don't see anything else of interest.
Didn't do anything. I expected that to be what we had to mix it with.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's one of the flasks of oil found in the ogre's cave.
That doesn't do anything. I don't see anything else of interest.
Okay. I figured it would have to get mixed. We put it in a bucket.
That doesn't do anything.
That doesn't do anything.
It's an empty sack.
Oh.
It's an empty sack.
Oh no, I dropped the stuff. I didn't put it in there. Okay, well that's fine. At this point, I'm pretty sure I've done everything out there that I can do, and I now have whatever I need to deal with him.
I don't think that's a good idea. That's not even going to phase him. I'll need some heavier artillery than this.
Right?
I don't think that's a good idea. Bummer, no wonder Iris told me to be careful with this bloody stuff.
Okay. It did work. You do mix it with the water vase. You just have to do it on the screen with the Titan. So we blew him up. Alright, well that wasn't the right order. Okay. Okay. There we go.
Those don't scare me.
We've opened the door. Hooray.
It
Pretty
looks like
easy
the
to do
door
that.
is bolted. I hate it when the door's locked. I should use a more persuasive method.
What?
It must be the gatekeeper's shack. It looks like the door is bolted. I should use a more persuasive method.
Like what? The axe? Okay. It is now open.
The door's wide open now. I don't see anything else of interest.
Oh.
All I can see is a bunch of hay. I don't see anything else of interest.
Quickthorpe is not able to do that. Judging from the way everything is all broken up, I'll bet someone here put up a good fight.
I don't see anything else of interest. Yep, it's a bottle all right.
And it's blue, too.
I feel like a klepto taking all these things.
Probably
Okay,
should.
I'm looking at it. So what about it?
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
On a clear day like this, you can see forever. There's a large body of water on the horizon. I didn't know Balkan had a sea.
He just said Balkan again. It's funny how they sometimes get that mixed up in this game.
All in all, it's a nice day.
And it's blue, too. I honestly don't know that there's even a use for the blue bottle. But we got it. Appears to be the only thing in here Oh, hold on. We can look at the cubbyhole. We're going back in. We're looking at the cubbyhole. There was a rat in there.
It looks empty.
Oh.
I don't see anything in there. I don't see anything in there.
Hey there, little monster. I'm not afraid of you. Hey there, little monster. I'm not afraid of you.
That is beyond the range.
That is not on my list of things to do.
Okay, well. We're able to talk to the little monster in there.
The gates are open.
Cool.
A one-legged beggar is sitting down and enjoying some good weather.
Poor old guy. He looks stone drunk as well. A fine day to you, sir.
Fine day, my blistering bottom. How'd you like a kick in yours, you little whippersnapper?
What?
Why, thank you. Yes, I would.
If I had a leg to kick you with, I'd send you straight to Timbuktu.
To Timbuktu, huh?
Whose boat is that back there?
That's me boat sitting at the docks. At least it was before I was forced into retirement. Now all I've got's a bunch of old sailors' stories and some stupid gargoyles are picking and a feeding at what's left of me.
Oh.
I'd like to hear one of your stories.
You would you? Well, what's in it for me if I do?
I'll have to think about that one. A fine day to you?
Fine day.
Can we get any other info out of him?
Whose boat is?
That's me now.
I'd like to hear.
Oh, dang it. I wanted to ask him
Fine day,
why he
Bob.
was just sitting there.
Whose boat?
That's me now.
Why are you just sitting here?
In case you haven't noticed, there isn't one old sailor's home in this blasted town. Now get out of here. You stink like lilacs and it's turning me stomach.
Oh. Okay.
I could just go on in and peek around.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Judging from the sign above the door, it looks like an old library.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Let's go into the library. Why not? Oh, this character.
That must be the old guy the beggar was talking about.
Look.
It looks like he's been here for centuries.
Look at his face.
Isaiah is a wise old man with a crazed look in his eyes that cuts through you like a knife.
Yeah, it does.
It's a nice place you got here, sir. What kind of books do you have here?
There's all kinds of books in this place. It all depends on what you're looking for.
I always honestly thought that this was freaking scary. I have always kind of thought that this guy's face is nightmare-inducing.
Can you tell me where I might find the snake demon?
Can you?
I wouldn't even wish you to find him. He's an evil beast. Just step out to the town square. It's on your right.
Don't worry about me, old-timer. That snake's gonna be mincemeat after I'm through with him. Have you seen a sexy fairy in a cape?
Young man, I don't carry that kind of trash.
You shouldn't speak about Iris in that way.
Is it Iris you're talking about? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, she flew in here not long ago. You must be the boy she was telling me about.
That's right. My name is Quickthorpe.
Quickthorpe, is it? That's quite a special name for a special person.
Special is one way to put it.
Iris has asked me to give you something I've been keeping here for many years.
I can't wait to see it. What is it?
Not until I'm sure you're the man.
What?
What kind of books do you have here?
There's all kinds of books in...
Do you have anything on animal husbandry?
Not anymore. Most of the books have all been destroyed by the snake demon.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Those darn gargoyles next door are a nuisance, too.
Is there any connection between those gargoyles and the snake demon?
Everything inhuman in these lands has some connection with that evil beast.
Have you got The Yellow River by I.P. Freely?
I lent that book out to a sailor quite a long time ago. Haven't seen it since.
Oh.
I think I'll have a look around here.
There's another desk for anyone who wishes to spend the rest of their life in the library.
Wow.
These old candles offer the only light when Isaiah is reading late at night. There is a ladder for anyone wanting to take books from the upper shelves.
This place is filled with books. It's too bad I don't know how to read real good.
Those books are on self-help and personal improvement. They're quite popular these days.
Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
Those three in particular are my favorite ones in the whole library. Please, by all means, help yourself.
Well, I'm glad you're okay with it, because I was gonna take it
It's the book
anyways.
from Isaiah's library. A closer look reveals nothing.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why do I need this book? I don't really know, honestly, but I took it. It's mine.
I wonder if anyone's home.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
Little human, you should know better than to come barging in my house without knocking.
What is that disgusting smell?
Come closer and I'll show you.
I'll keep my distance, thank you.
Then you're not as stupid as you look.
Nice looking kids you've got.
Flattery will get you nowhere with me.
I should think not. By the way, is that the old beggar's leg you're eating?
It was. Now it's smoked jerky. Would you care to have a chew?
I was rather thinking of returning it to him.
That would be a nice gesture on your part. Why don't you come here and take it?
On second thoughts, I'll let you keep it.
Too bad you don't know what you're missing.
Oh boy. Are you guys ready for another very Quickthorpe moment? This is one of the more Quickthorpe moments of the game.
Those children look just as playful as can be. They look real intelligent, too.
Notice that it says, examine the baby gargoyle.
Hey, little guy, why the long face? As the man said to the pony.
I've been grounded for not doing the chores.
I know how you feel. Where's your mommy?
I don't know. She ran off with a sailor when I was little.
I guess I can't blame her, if you know what I mean.
At least I've got my red ball, and there's super lollipop.
That's the spirit. Those children look just as playful as can be. Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
Nothing beats taking candy from a baby to brighten your day, is there?
It's better than ripping the leg off of an old beggar.
I can't argue with you there.
Hey, little guy, why the long face? As the pirate said to the crocodile.
You've just taken my lollipop.
And don't you ever forget that. Where's your mommy?
I don't know. She ran off with a sailor when I was little.
I guess I can't blame her, if you know what I mean.
At least I've got my red ball.
That's the spirit.
It still kills me to this day. And don't you ever forget that.
It's a sticky lollipop.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Oh my god.
Hey there, young one, what are you playing with?
I'm just dicking around with this Play-Doh. My therapist says it's good for working out my warped frustrations.
I think it's called expressing yourself.
We just took candy from a baby.
Okay, it's a candle, so what? Well, what have we here? A large chest? I'll bet it's filled with chopped body parts.
A portrait of the previous owner of this house hangs on the wall.
Oh, man. That's all we get about the chest. We don't get to actually know what he found in there.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now. Something tells me I'm better off not looking behind there.
Quickthorpe is not able to do that. The buffet contains some necessary kitchen items.
I see a jar, a keg, and some flasks, too.
Can we take
I
any
really
of it?
couldn't be bothered.
The buffet contains some necessary...
I don't even want to know what they've been burning in there.
Okay.
There are some cranberries on the table.
They look delicious, too.
I'm not falling for that trick.
Oh.
Quickthorpe has no use for cranberries.
Well, fine then. Well, we got the lollipop.
Quickthorpe can't see the shed from where he's standing.
Oh. I mean, that's fair.
A fine day to use?
Fine day, my blistering bottom.
Whose boat is...
That's me, but now all I've...
Gee, sounds awful. How can I help?
You could get me back my leg from those bloody man-eaters. Now get out of here before I plug you.
A fine day to...
Fine day.
I can't get
Buzz
it
off, you old fart.
I can't get it back. They're kind of eating it.
Eat turds and die, you lousy bird. Eat turds and die, you lousy bird.
Okay, the bird is in the way of the
That's a
door.
flaky-looking gargoyle if I've ever seen one. Just look at that expression on his face. I don't even want to know what he's thinking.
It looks like the gargoyle's actually chained to his perch. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
If I remember right, you've been waiting for it all game. I think this is actually finally the lock that you can deal with the knife.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's not. Okay.
A closer look reveals
I
nothing...
feel like at some point that is what the knife is for a lock. I keep feeling that way about it. I could be wrong.
I could do some real damage with this axe.
It's a nut.
It's a nut.
It's a sticky lollipop. It makes a nice security blanket.
What a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive.
Oh yeah?
It's the Swamp Queen's hypnotic drum. It's the book from A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Eat turds and...
Really? I can't even go that way? Interesting. Okay. What do I do about the gargoyle?
It's a nice... Shh. It's a nice place.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
What kind of book is all? I think I'll...
Don't think...
Those books are on self-help and personal improvement.
They are on self-help and personal improvement. Maybe we give it... That's a good point. Maybe we give the book to him. I know the lolly... I don't think the lollipop goes to the beggar.
Get out of here, boy. I don't need your handouts. Get out of here, boy. I don't need your handouts.
I better not. Their father might not approve. I better not. Their father might not approve. I should save it for something important. This kid looks a bit disturbed. I better not bother with him. I shouldn't waste any time fooling around with kids. I don't feel like talking to him. He must be the father gargoyle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Maybe there was something in here that I didn't find.
All I can see is a bunch of hay.
A closer look reveals nothing more of Quickthorpe is not.
I'd rather save the pocket space for things
The things I really need. There's something we use on the hay to search through it? Perhaps? Like a spider web?
I don't think that's a good I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, me either. To be honest. I don't remember at this point.
It makes a nice security blanket.
I mean... Oh, there's more hay over here.
Money in the hay. This is my lucky day.
Aha!
I can see 6 gold pieces. You can never have enough money.
True enough. We found some money.
Will you tell me a story for 1 gold piece?
Thank you, Sonny. I'll tell you what. You see this door behind me? There's more stories in there than you can ever imagine. There's an old-timer keeping a shop. If he's still kicking, that is. The stories I've got ain't really fit for young ears like yours. Do yourself a favour. Don't get close to those darn birds.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, that didn't really help.
It's going to take a lot more than that to get anything out of me. Get out of here, boy. I don't need your...
Oh.
These are the gold pieces you found in the gatekeeper's shack. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Well, shit. That didn't do me anything.
This place is filled with books. It's too bad I don't know how to read real good.
That didn't help at all.
Eat turds and die, you lousy bird.
It looks like the gargoyle's actually chained to his perch.
I don't see anything else of interest.
We just use the axe.
That
on
doesn't
the
do
perch?
anything. That doesn't do that doesn't do anything.
No. No matter how many times you click, it still doesn't do anything. Do we... I thought the gold pieces might be the answer, but they're not. You want the blanket? That's the blanket.
Get out of here, boy. I don't need your handouts.
Oh, okay.
Hello there again, poor old beggar man.
Did you get back me leg from those blasted gargoyles?
Yes, I did.
That's nice of you, son. How about giving it to me now?
First, what can you tell me about the Engulfed Fortress?
What?
Hell and thunder, that was way before my time. There's not much to know. Legend says there was a lost city buried deep under the ocean, and it was built by alien beings living on Vulcane a long time ago.
Sounds like a far-fetched story to me.
That it does, son. But if there's an old city down there, it's guarded by a horrible gorgon. I should know, because I lost many a good sailor to that beast.
Do you suppose that these alien beings have anything to do with the Mecubars?
Shh, not so loud. Where did you hear about those people?
Let's just say a little fairy told me.
I don't know what kind of trouble you're up to, son, but I don't want no part of it. Now, where's my leg?
What leg? Oh, that leg, right. Sorry, old man, but I lied. Those gargoyles in the house already ate it.
Get out of here, you little worm. I hope they kill all you, smear you across the hull covered with poison barnacles and toss your gizzards to the sharks.
Oh.
Hello there again, poor...
Did you get back?
Yes, I did.
Let's start.
Let's... What?
Did happen.
Okay, well, we got some information. That's good.
Those children are just as playful as can be. I better not, their father might not approve. Their father might not approve.
It's true. Can I talk to him now?
I don't feel like talking to anyone or...
No. This did not help me figure out how to deal with the gargoyle. Alright. Time to leave. Time to leave. Is this the weird spot in the game where it just suddenly you can use this and he's just okay with it?
I must have triggered a secret mechanism.
Must have. I don't remember when in the game it's just like suddenly this is okay.
This place gives...
No, not yet. No. He is still out of it.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything. I won't be needing a duplicate key now.
Walk. I want to walk. Oh, she's gone.
That doesn't do anything.
I just wanted to give him a nice blanket, you know? Just make everything a little better for him. Definitely am stumped on what to do
A small collection of vases has been...
about the bird. The gargoyle bird. Definitely not sure what to do about it. Well, I'm not going to spend forever stuck on it. I will eventually go ahead and make a save, and then we'll just look it up if it gets too far, you know?
It looks empty.
I don't see anything in there.
Hey there, little monster. I'm not afraid of you.
Do we...
That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything.
Oh.
It's the spirit of Cymbeline.
That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything.
I don't see anything in there.
Well, but
All
there
I can
was
see is a
little
bunch of
monster.
hay. I don't see anything else of interest. All I can see is a bunch of hay.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
That's not exactly what I had in mind.
Closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
I don't know. I don't know, Quickthorpe.
It's the emerald you took from the ice giant. Keep it safely with you at all times. It's a red-hot chili pepper talisman.
There is.
It's the Swamp Queen's hypnotic drum. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Maybe we do give him the lollipop. That would be really awkward to me, but we might.
out of here, boy. I don't need your help.
I'm not giving this gargoyle anything.
Oh.
That doesn't do anything.
I'm not giving this gargoyle anything. Okay.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Me either. I didn't mean to even do it. I feel like you definitely need like a key, but we don't have a key, and I'm not sure.
It's the flask you took from the Lizard Guard's tower. It's a very basic, generic blue bottle from the abandoned shack.
I don't see anything else of interest. Eat turds and die. Eat turds and die, you lousy bird.
It looks like the gargoyle's actually chained to his perch. Quickthorpe cannot open them up like that.
That's not exactly what I had in... I don't see anything else of interest.
Cannot open the lock.
This building looks a lot like the ones in my village.
Yeah, I can't even look at the temple.
It's a nice desk he's got, but it looks like it was built for someone with very short legs.
Quickthorpe should respect his elders.
Now, what is that supposed to prove?
Oh, do we need to prove to him that we're the one? That's right, he was like, not until you prove... Did we need to show him the emerald? Is that what's going on?
Now, what is that supposed to prove?
Okay, no.
Quickthorpe should respect.
I think that's what's going on. I think, because remember, it was like, I was like...
What kind of...
I asked him about it, and it was
I'll...
like, not until I know you're the one. Would...
Now, what is that supposed to...
How do we... What do we have that we could prove we're the one with? The medallion, maybe?
Now, what is that supposed to prove?
Quickthorpe should respect his...
Because all she gave us was the dust, and the dust we already used.
It's the Book of Runes from Welder's house.
I mean, he...
Now, what is that supposed to prove?
Quickthorpe should respect.
You want a lollipop?
Now, what is that supposed to prove?
I don't know, man. That I'm nice?
It's a nut.
I don't see anything else of interest. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's a nut. What could we maybe use a nut on? The nut?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Wait. Do we use the nut on the cubby hole? That can't be, right?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't either. Don't use it like that.
That doesn't do anything.
Oh.
That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything.
Can I give it to the cubby? No. Alright. I am going to stop being incredibly lost here. We are going to save the game because I expect this Alt tab to break everything. If the game recovers from that, I'm going to be very surprised. But that's okay. It might. You never know. For now, we're going to see if I can find a walkthrough for this nonsense. Yes, apparently I can. Okie dokie. Wow, this is just one giant... Ah, okay. That's all I needed. Wow, I can't believe it actually came back. Alright. We're walking to the swamp. I did not find that for sure. We definitely did miss an item. Which was starting to seem kind of obvious, but I just didn't know where that item might be. I actually still don't know where it is, but...
There doesn't appear to be anything else in the cage.
Okay, we're gonna put this nut away.
It looks like a book, among other things, has been stashed behind the curtain.
You can look at the curtain.
I don't see anything special about it. It's all handwritten and there are no pictures in it.
You won't notice this book is missing.
You can look behind the curtain. There we go. Our missing item has been found. Oh yeah. That's what it almost always is in this game, to be honest. You missed something you can click on somewhere.
It's the old book I found in the wooden tower.
A closer look reveals some mature subject content, but still no pictures.
I found this book in the same tower where Iris was held prisoner.
Let's see here. Memories of an enchanted evening. I've been looking everywhere for this book.
If that isn't proof, I don't know what is.
Thank you, Quickthorpe. Iris told me about your mission and has asked me to help you. Please, take this ancient key. It's the only thing I have left from the time of the Mekubars. Guard this key during your quest, for the jewels that you seek must be properly placed into it. This key and its jewels are the only future for the people of Balkane. And you, Quickthorpe, are their only chance for that future. When you have reclaimed the fourth jewel, you will then know what you must do. By the way, you might as well take this old key. I've no idea what it's for, but it could be useful.
Wow. You think? Like, maybe right out here it might be useful?
It's the key that Isaiah gave you.
This key must go in something or someplace special.
Remember, Quickthorpe, this key is the future of your people. It's the key that Isaiah gave you.
I don't see anything else of interest. That doesn't do anything.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it. I'll bet those doors are made of pure polyurethane. I don't see anything else of interest. That building looks like it was designed by some wacky cult worshipper.
This temple was actually built during the time of the Mekubals.
So here we are. if you're expecting something really epic and amazing, you might be surprised.
Can Quickthorpe vanquish the snake demon, or will he be reduced to smouldering toothpicks?
I better keep my distance. These king cobra snakes are poisonous. I'm here to take you out and stomp on your skull, you no-good rotten snake.
You're the mortal child who says he's going to make mincemeat out of me. I'll bet you don't even know what mincemeat looks like.
Sure I do. My grandmother makes a mincemeat pie every Sunday.
Why don't you try your little drummer boy routine like you did with my lizard guard?
You mean with my hypnotic drum? But how do you know about that?
Silly mortal. Angor sees all and knows all things in the lands of mists.
Rats. Maybe I should duck out of here until I've figured out how to waste this slime.
Nah, let's just go get him.
Little pest, like the creeping insects you are. You should have stayed away this time.
Nah.
You're a persistent.
You can't get him to kill you? Alright, well, I mean,
I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything.
That doesn't do anything? What? Okay, well, how about we get him with an axe?
That doesn't do anything.
Oh, that doesn't do anything. Okay. We'll use the knife.
That doesn't do anything.
No. Okay. Maybe we could
that doesn't do
use
anything.
a shield to reflect his laser beam eyes. No, it's really simple. You take the lizard guy's spear and you use it. He's dead now.
Angor, the great snake demon, is now a shriveled piece of foul-smelling meat.
We got him.
I've no interest in a dead snake.
Easy enough.
A couple of more jewels like this one, and you'll be set for life.
Probably true.
This one looks exceptionally nice.
The hard part of this job is going to be when I have to hand these jewels over to some old coot when I've done all the work.
Job's done. Yep, that's
I better keep my distance.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
That's the snake demon. He's
I almost didn't see this money hiding back here.
It looks like there are 5 of them.
Wow.
What the heck? I can always use the cash. Those poor suckers, that's a heck of a way to die.
Alright. Got 5 more gold and the diamond. Which you may be thinking...
It's the diamond you took from Angor, the snake demon. A closer look reveals nothing more.
What we can do is, of course, take it and not drop it. We can take it and we can...
This fits perfectly.
And we can take the emerald and...
This fits perfectly.
This key must go in something or someplace special.
Remember, Quickthorpe, this key is the future of your people.
We now have 2 of them in the key.
I've never seen a boat like that before. It must be an early model airship. I don't know the first thing about sailing.
Oh boy. Hello.
The cabin boy works hard to earn his keep. Despite his appearance, he's a really bright boy. Poor kid. Looks like he's got it tough. Poor kid. Looks like he's...
Well, we can give the lollipop to the cabin boy.
That's nice of you, sir, but the captain would skin me alive if he ever found out.
Oh.
Poor kid. Looks like he's got it tough.
He looks like a salty old dog. I'll bet he could sail this old tub anywhere. On second thoughts, he might not be an easy character to deal with. Are you the captain of this ship?
That I am, mate. Welcome on board.
Do you think that this ship is seaworthy?
She's seaworthy, airworthy, you name it. She's worthy, all right. It all depends on where you're going and what you're paying.
Would you mind taking me to the Emerald Forest?
You took either a wrong turn somewhere or a pretty good hit on the noggin. I ain't seen nor heard of no Emerald Forest anywhere in these parts.
Ah.
The Engulfed Fortress might be fun to visit.
But that's on the other side of the Skanker Range. There ain't no way I'm crossing that again. Hold on a minute. I know of a roundabout way of getting there. Figuring there's some pretty rough seas yonder, it's gonna cost you about, let's see here, yep, 15 gold pieces should do the fare. Excuse me, what in tarnation are you gawking at? Get back to work.
I'll just walk to Mickey D's. The service is better and it's definitely cheaper.
15 gold pieces?
The cabin boy works hard to earn his keep. Despite his appearance, he's a really bright boy.
Would you like to have a lollipop?
Thanks a lot. No one's ever given me a lollipop before. By the way, I already changed the price in the captain's log for you. So all you'll have to pay is 8 gold pieces.
Oh. Well, thanks very much, cabin boy.
I didn't know ships had doors.
It looks like it goes to the captain's cabin.
Get your varmint hands off that door!
Oh. Sorry.
I wonder what's down there. I'll bet that goes down into the galley.
Well,
you
now we
mentioned
have
a
enough
roundabout
money.
way of getting to the Engulfed Fortress.
I did? Yes, that's right. But it's still gonna cost you. Let's see here. Yes, here it is. The Engulfed Fortress. We'll have to go by way of sea, so it's gonna be 8 gold pieces. Can you handle it, son?
I think I can manage that.
Yeah. Yeah,
These are the gold pieces you found in the gatekeeper's shack.
I've got 10.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Son, you've just sport yourself a one-way trip to the Engulfed Fortress. I see as well you give me a bit too many gold pieces, but I do appreciate the tip.
And off we go. In our balloon ship.
Here we are, boy. According to the gyro thingamajig, we're spot on. Destination Engulfed Fortress.
But we're in the middle of the ocean.
That's right, and your Emerald Fortress is somewhere at the bottom.
You mean the Engulfed Fortress?
Right, mate. It's somewhere down below. It's quite simple, actually. All you've got to do is jump overboard and let gravity do its work.
But how will I ever breathe underwater?
My job was to get you here. The rest is your problem. Now, if you don't mind, I've got some work to do.
Alright, well, obviously let's just do it. I mean, how hard can it be? I mean, it's not like it's going to be a problem.
There's a shark in the water. This could pose a serious problem.
I mean, yeah, there's a
closer
shark in the
look
water,
reveals
but
nothing more of interest.
I'm sure it's
Dear me,
fine. Let's just go. There's no problem. Oh. Oh. Maybe it's a problem. So yeah, no, you can't just jump in the water. That gets you terribly eaten. Also, you may remember that Quickthorpe cannot swim. So bad idea all around.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now.
Okie dokie. Can we go inside now? Yes. Now he no longer cares. Now that we're here, he's like, meh. I don't give a shit. You do whatever you want, kid.
There's a piece of parchment with some mysterious writing. It might contain some useful secrets to blackmail the captain with.
It's the first thing he
Wow,
thinks of.
it looks like it could be some sort of magic spell.
Quickthorpe takes the magic parchment.
Mine.
In a well-lighted corner of the cabin stands a funky little dresser.
There's a bunch of jewels in the drawer.
These jewels are certified fake.
This'll piss off the captain in a big way, but that's his problem.
Don't mind Quickthorpe.
I see the captain prefers old-fashioned pillows, among other things.
It's the old hairpin under the pillow trick. I must say, I didn't expect this from the captain.
If not for any other reason, Quickthorpe takes the hairpin just to embarrass the captain. A pair of smelly socks are lying on the bed.
These socks smell like old cheese. Phew-wee, I can barely stand the smell of myself now. There's a small box hiding just behind the chest. Wouldn't you know it, there's a lock.
That's okay.
It's the captain's hairpin.
I don't see anything else of interest. Bending open this hairpin is a brilliant idea.
Now that it's bent,
Damn, I'm good.
we can pick the lock.
Inside the box is a single solitary precious stone. With a magic stone, you can do just about anything or absolutely nothing. But a spell would help.
I'll take it anyway, just in case.
Cool.
Maybe it's filled with incredible objects from the far seas. Maybe it's filled with junk. I can't get it open.
Oh.
A couple of books are there, but all the pages have been torn out.
All the pages are... Oh, okay. They're not books then anymore. They're just, like, covers.
The captain's saber is really more for showing off. The closest he's ever come to combat is slapping the cabin boy across the head.
Oh. Alright. I think that's everything that there is to steal from the captain. We seem to have
There
picked
is a
that room
hatch
pretty
that leads
clean.
down to the ship's galley. The hatch is now open.
How convenient, there's a ladder.
The hatch is already open.
Down we go.
It's not luxury, but they actually look comfortable.
Okay.
That must be the fan that blows the hot air up to the ship's balloon. I barely noticed the handle on this hatch.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest. Whatever that is, it looks toxic.
Good meat to eat. I don't even want to know what's in there.
So, I
good
actually
meat
already
to
know
eat.
the combo that you do with this. You take
I
the
don't
meat,
mind if I do.
and then you walk over here. And we want to take the meat. And we want to put the meat in the goop.
I've always preferred eating my steak with sauce.
And then we want to put the gunky steak.
It's not very appetizing,
In the
but they
sauce.
actually fit together perfectly.
And then we want to go back to the ship's deck. Walk on over here. And use the stuffed sock with the shark.
Incredibly enough, it would seem that the shark has just died from some horrible food poisoning.
So it would seem. So now we are the proud murderer of a shark.
Now that the shark is dead, you don't mind jumping in.
Sweet. In we go! Right. Quickthorpe. He's gonna be stuck there. Just forever. Just forever. He's never gonna get out. He's dead. So that, yeah. Quickthorpe still can't swim. But at least you get eaten. That's a bonus. So, I don't know if you get any more information about it when you look
It's
at
the
it
parchment that was found on the captain's desk. A closer look reveals some strange writing or magic spell. A closer look reveals...
I don't know if, like, can you use the
I
Book
don't
of
think that's a good
Runes?
idea. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's the book from Ision's library. The cabin boy is too busy doing his chores to take notice of Quickthorpe.
You know I'm not interested in any of your trinkets and toys.
Okay, well, I was wondering if maybe there was a way for me to get a better hint about this.
Boggle, goggle, sniffin, snortin, weeble, wobble, but I don't fall down.
Oh. It transformed me.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well,
it's the magic stone you found in the captain's cabin.
If you for some reason decide to use the magic stone, Quickthorpe will eat it. And then you use... Where'd it go? Wait, where'd it go? Oh, did I think that when I did the magic spell, I actually screwed myself. Because we actually did lose the spell. You want to use the magic stone, Quickthorpe will eat it. And then you want to come over here, and I'm not sure if you use the parchment with the water.
That doesn't do anything.
Or, I guess, with
Into the
Quickthorpe.
brim, to the rim you'll spill, and your lungs will bung like a fish's gill.
Okay, so now we still have the parchment, but now we've used the magic stone to make it so that we can breathe in the water. So now we're underwater. Hooray!
There he is,
fun.
guys. He's touched down already. Let's see if he's okay. Are you all right, my friend? No broken bones?
Long Dong Silver's the name.
Oh no, he's got the bends. Let's get out of here, boys.
I don't feel like talking. The sand looks quite soft around here.
I wanted more info out of them. Can I, like, leave and come back and they'll be back? No. Alright, hold on.
Into the brim, to the rim you'll spill, and your lungs will bung like a...
Alright, let's try this again.
There he is, guys. He's touched down already. Let's see if he's okay. Are you all right, my friend? No broken bones?
Is this the Engulfed Fortress?
You're standing in the seaweed forest. You should stay away from the Engulfed Fortress if you know what's good for you.
You just let me worry about what's good for me.
Just the same, I wouldn't hold my breath hoping to find anything there.
What are you really trying to tell me?
Don't get me wrong, most of us are friendly once you get to know us. It's just that we don't take kindly to strangers down here.
I'm not looking for any trouble, but I've got some important things to do.
You look like a sensible fellow. Go back where you came from while you still can.
Tell me where to find the Engulfed Fortress.
That's an easy one. It's dead ahead. You can't miss it.
Well, okay then.
The sand looks quite soft around here. Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
Well, off to the Engulfed Fortress. Oh. well, surely he's a nice fellow. I mean, what's the worst
I
thing
don't think it could be possible to carry on a meaningful and intelligent discussion with this guy.
Oh. Well.
I'd rather kiss a snake between the ears.
It's actually a three-eyed electric conger eel. It can do considerable damage.
Oh.
That's a rather happy-looking eel.
Well, oh. Oh. Well, surprisingly, we don't die from that.
Leroy is a gardener. He shares a landscaping business with his brother William. Leroy suffers from hypertension. He actually tends the seaweed garden here in his free time to reduce stress.
Oh.
Excuse me, but could you tell me where I might find the Engulfed Fortress?
I haven't eaten all day, and I'm in no mood to start talking to tourists. And I'm not giving anyone directions. Now bugger off.
I don't mean to be rude, but I just wanted to know if you could tell me where I am.
Get lost, you lousy piece of driftwood.
Oh.
Oysters are quite rare at the bottom of the sea. A few can still be found scattered about.
I can't get it open.
Quickthorpe is not able to do that.
Actually, I think I do know how to get it open, and I think this is what you actually use your knife for.
Bummer. There's no pearl in it.
Bummer.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Bummer.
You don't feel like bending over just to pick up sand?
Oh. That's not what I was trying to do anyways.
There's a shovel leaning up against the building.
Anywhere you look at it, it's still a shovel.
Don't touch my tools!
Oh. Well, sorry. I hadn't thought, that it was yours. There was no thought involved.
A high-energy laser beam is blocking the entrance to the large building. The entrance is blocked by a high-energy laser beam.
Wow. Well then. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
I don't know, go that way.
Neat. There are a few oysters down here. I can't get it open.
Well, hold on.
Cool, this oyster's got a pearl in it.
It's a shiny pearl. Quickthorpe takes the lovely pearl.
Nice. There's a couple more of them. Let's keep looking for more pearls. We can get all the pearls.
There's nothing in here.
Oh, dang it.
There's a pearl in this oyster shell.
Ah.
It's a shiny pearl.
I'll just help myself, thank you.
Indeed.
In the old days, Kor was a great fish god. Over the last few hundred years, he's been demoted to a common underwater sector guard.
Oh.
Kor is bored, and he hates his job.
The road stops here for you, stranger.
Hello there, Aquaman. My name's Quickthorpe.
I am Kor, guardian of the sea. Or at least I was a long time ago. Now I'm just an ordinary sector guard on minimum wage.
Oh.
Too bad for you. What are you guarding?
I'm supposed to be guarding the general area around the Engulfed Fortress. But my latest orders have been to guard this hole in the reef.
What a bummer. Why were you demoted?
It was more or less automatic when Viven came crashing down to the underworld. Ever since that fateful day, life has never been the same for us sea creatures.
What can you tell me about the Engulfed Fortress?
The Engulfed Fortress is one of the vestiges of the ancient world in the times when the Mechubars came. It all happened hundreds of years ago when there was a great explosion that nearly destroyed our entire planet. Nearly half of the Earth fell into the sea. Mountains and entire cities from your world collapsed and were buried under the sea in deep caves. It is said that in the land of shadows there is an ancient ghost city from your world that is buried under caves with the lava flowing like rivers of fire. Anyway, it isn't the kind of place I'd like to go to for vacation.
Tell me about the Land of Shadows.
I don't know much else than what I've already told you, but I do know that the Land of Shadows is controlled by a fire demon by the name of Chax. No one from our world that I know about has been there, but I suspect Vivian and Chax communicate often.
Who were the Mecubars, really?
All I know about the Mecubars is that they came from a distant galaxy, and when they left, they did it with a big bang. But one thing is for sure. They had some kind of mysterious power or technology that the humans were after. All that's gone now. But I've got a hunch that the answer to all of this mess is buried somewhere deep in the Engulfed Fortress. As for me, I'll spend the rest of eternity guarding this sector.
Not if I got something to do with it.
I admire your courage. You remind me of when I was young. I wish you the best of luck. The road stops here for you.
Oh. Now we're back to talking.
Hello there, Flipper. My name's Quickthorpe.
I hate this job.
I hate this job. We need to do something about getting him his godhood back so that he has no reason to fucking do his job anymore, basically. Let's see. I don't know if I can get here from here.
Yoo-hoo. Here I am. Oh, Mr. Wonderful. Yoo-hoo. I'm waiting. Oh, you big hunky toy. Help me, please. I'm Yoo-hoo. Oh, Mr. Wonderful.
Right, she talks like really, really constantly. I forgot about that. So, if I recall correctly, we're gonna save on death time. I believe there is literally nothing you can do here other than die.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Wonderful. You.
There's nothing in here.
Okay, we can check the oysters.
Cool, there's something inside this shell.
This pearl is going to feel nice in your pocket.
So there is at least somewhat of a reason to come here. But I believe
you big hunky.
that
Help me.
no matter what we do here with her, I think even looking at her, which I'm trying to do.
A sexy doll-faced siren is sitting on a rock in the middle of the abyss.
How do I know this isn't a trick?
You silly boy. Tricks are for kids. Do I look like a kid to you?
I can't say what you look like, really, but you sure look good.
That's what I'm here for. To be good to you. That is, if you've got what it takes to step onto this rock with me.
Only if you take off that bulky swimsuit.
But it's not a swimsuit. It's my real skin.
I see what you mean. I think I'll stick with my own kind, thank you very much.
Come back here, you wimp. I'm not through with you.
Phew, that was close.
I'm fairly certain, like I said, there is nothing you can do here with her other than to die. If you try to do anything with her, except for look at her, you die.
Don't be afraid, I'm coming.
So obviously we're gonna go get her. And she turns all creepy, scary looking for your death scene. Because, you know, why not? that also actually gave me somewhat of nightmares as a child. It's gotta be said. I spent a long time trying to figure out if there was something to her, because it seemed like there was something that you're missing with her. Like, there's gotta be something you do with her, right? I honestly don't think there is. We might find that there is here, but I don't think there is. I think that there's nothing. She's just a trap.
William is a cranky old crab, but he's quite a nice fellow when you're on his good side.
I don't see anything else of interest. That's quite a nice pad you got.
Thanks, but I'm just a hired claw. I do the gardening and various sanitary services. This luxurious private garden estate actually belongs to Master Pearlman Kaupa.
I see you're trimming the seaweed.
That's quite an observation. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to work.
It's Quickthorpe.
Excuse me for being bored. I'll just go bother some security guards.
It's Quickthorpe.
A door carved in giant mountain spruce decorates this lovely executive home.
Yes, may I help you?
May I use your bathroom, please?
Go jump in a hole, you bum.
Oh.
I thought I told you to get lost.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sure, come on in. What did you say your name was?
Well, that was easy.
There's nothing of interest in this book.
Oh. Well, then why can't we look at it?
Most of Kaupa's personal artwork and interior designs falls into the famous Kilsalt period.
Knobby Insect Leg School of Design. Oh.
This lampshade is one of the many rare collectibles that can be found in Kaupa's home. The chair is quite comfortable if you've got a turtle's rear end.
I wonder what he keeps in there.
Kaupa is so rich that he has his own colour TV.
Wow.
Master Kaupa keeps a large private aquarium in his back bedroom. Master Kaupa keeps a large private aquarium in his back bedroom.
I can't go there, though. Well,
That
obviously.
is beyond the range of Quickthorpe's natural abilities.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll have a conversation.
It's a cozy place you've got here.
Yes, it is quite homely, isn't it? This is my favourite place to just sit around and relax.
Would you be interested in my pearls?
I'm very interested in pearls. What have you got to show me?
It all depends on how interested you are.
Like I said, I'm very interested. But if you're trying to squeeze something out of me, you can forget it.
Not even the directions to the Engulfed Fortress?
If you weren't my guest, I'd have you thrown out. But since you are a stranger, I feel it is only fair to warn you to stay away from the Engulfed Fortress. That is, if you ever care to see the light of day again.
Couldn't you at least tell me something that might be helpful?
I want to see some pearls first.
What's in the back of your house?
Just the world's biggest indoor aquarium, and you'll never get to see it unless you show me those pearls.
No problem. Let me just dig into my pockets to see what's there.
Oh, we have 3.
You've got 3 nice pearls. A closer look reveals nothing.
Well, well, what have we here? This is quite a rare find. I've been searching all my life for 3 identical pearls.
I guess they are pretty identical, but they're quite lovely. I was going to give them as a pearl necklace to my girlfriend. Oh well, there goes that idea. Not to mention the favors I would have gotten in return.
Don't you worry. Wait till you see what I'm going to give you. You won't even remember you had a girlfriend.
Cool, What is it?
It's the only map in existence to the legendary lost treasure of King Thut.
Wow, thanks a million. I can't wait to go and hunt for it.
You see? You've completely forgotten about her already.
Forgotten about who?
Oh, ha ha ha.
Thanks, but I...
Certainly.
Okay, well, we need a shovel, though.
What's up, William?
Not now. I'm too busy working.
Yeah, okay. See you later.
Wild seaweed grows just about everywhere.
How do we get his shovel? We need his shovel. Can I already get his shovel?
Excuse me, but could you tell me where I might find the Engulfed Fortress?
I haven't eaten all, and I'm not...
I don't mean to be rude, but I just...
Get lost.
Leroy is a gardener. He shares a landscaping business with his brother William. Leroy suffers from hypertension. He actually tends the seaweed garden here in his free time to reduce stress.
You want some fake jewels?
I should keep it for the right time, or that...
Okay.
It's a map of a completely unheard of legendary treasure that was presumably buried in the sea a long time ago. The black X marks the spot where the legendary treasure of King Thut might be buried.
There's a shovel leaning up against the building.
I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
Well, I'm gonna touch it. As soon as I can get it back on screen.
There's a shovel leaning up.
Don't touch my tools.
Okay.
The sand looks quite soft around here.
Oh. Did I just get shocked off screen? I think I did. The self-help book?
It's the book from Ision's library.
I should keep it for the right time, or that special...
No. Nice idea, but no.
This piece of grass symbolizes the hidden spring of Balkane.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's an empty sack.
Wow.
That doesn't do anything. Excuse me, but could you tell me where I might find the Engulfed
If you have
Fortress?
ideas, feel free to share them.
I haven't
Unless
eaten
you
all day,
unless
and
you
I'm in no
actually
mood
know
to
what to
start
do.
talking to tourists.
If you're just
And I'm
kind of
not
guessing,
giving
feel free.
anyone directions.
I don't mean to be rude.
And
but
or
I
you
just
think you
wanted
have
to
a
know
real
if you could
idea.
Tell me where I am.
But if you if you somehow have already played this and you just know what to do, then keep that to yourself. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's odd, seeing a building right here at the bottom of the sea. I wonder.
You wonder,
This
huh?
must be the Engulfed Fortress. It doesn't look like it's going to be easy to get in.
Nope.
I don't think it could be possible to carry on a meaningful...
Yeah, and I don't think we have
It's the
anything we need
parchment
here.
that was found. A closer look reveals some strange writing or magic spell.
I mean, I don't want to lose the parchment because I do the wrong thing, so I'll save, but let's use
I don't think that's a good idea.
Never mind.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I agree. It's probably not. We need that shovel. Alright.
It's strange, but it looks like the sand texture is a bit clumpy on this spot. That's not exactly what I had in mind. It's strange, but it looks like the sand texture is a bit clumpy on this spot.
That's where we need to dig.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now.
You're still here, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually hoping to see you guys again.
Same here. Actually, we wanted to give you some kelp.
Oh?
It's something we do down here as a sign of goodwill.
Oh!
It's the nicest thing anybody's ever given me.
Take it. I'm tired of carrying it.
Well, thanks. We just needed them to wander on by again.
It's the kelp weed from the seahorse. Kelp weed is rather common, but it is always nice to have around, as it's often used as a polite gesture of kindness to strangers.
Well, let's give it to Leroy.
Now this is a nice thing you've gonna done, giving me this kelp. I'm really touched. I'd like you to have my favorite shovel.
Does this mean I can keep it forever and ever?
That's right. It's yours to have. Now stop getting mushy on me or I'll change my mind.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
This could come in handy in the future.
It'll come in handy right now. Right this very second.
After hours of furious digging, Quickthorpe strikes something hard in the ground and pulls out what appears to be a treasure chest.
Wow.
I'll bet some pirate buried this treasure chest down here hundreds of years ago. Wouldn't you know it, there's a lock on it.
Quickthorpe is not able to do that.
I'd rather save the pocket space for things I'll really need.
Well, Quickthorpe is now lockpick extraordinaire.
Excellent jackpot. I think we could say that unlimited bar credit will be in order when I get back.
That's right. Quickthorpe is now filthy rich. In fact, the legendary treasure of King Thut is estimated to be approximately priceless.
I think we can all agree that I am now filthy rich.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that. Yeah. I'm gonna go with yeah. Mm-hmm. You are now, in fact, filthy rich. And now that we're filthy rich, we can immediately not be filthy rich. But we'll take a look at the cliff in the distance first. Why?
I'd hate to get stranded out on that cliff. I don't see anything else of interest.
All right. I think, is that the cliff that has the siren on it? It might be. So now, without too much, he's not going to have too much fanfare over this, I'm going to tell you that. But you give him the treasure.
I want you to have this treasure. I have a feeling I won't have any use for it where I'm going.
And he's just gone.
Cor's helmet is lying on the sandy bottom.
It is a very fashionable helmet. Oh well, I always was a slave to fashion. This spear is totally cool. I could do some real damage with a spear like this. Just in case I get into a jam with my pants down.
Because remember that we lost our last spear. It was our best weapon, and we didn't have it. So now we have a new spear.
It looks like there's an entrance to some tunnel or cave down here.
And in we go. Look where we are! Whoa! It was very confusing, right? Because if this was right here, that would mean that when his boat went flying somewhere, it went nowhere because... I mean, you could assume maybe that we've been walking through that cave entrance like it went like a really long ways. It was a really long walk in a cave. And I'm also not underwater anymore, so I have to have gone up at some point. But Yeah, there's just a big jump to you just suddenly being here. It's very strange, and we don't question it because it doesn't make any sense.
The chasm cuts deep down into the bottommost pits of the world.
Unless you fill in that gap of where those caves went. Or the game.
This must be the directional indicator for the elevator platform.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Which we know where that goes. It goes back upstairs. Back to where we were before. I've always felt like that was because there's some items up there that you actually don't need until you're here. Oh, that's right. Welcome to Fable's Obligatory Maze. This is the obligatory point-and-click maze.
It looks like this tunnel has been blocked off. Who knows, there could have been a cave-in.
It's very obligatory. Like, look, we're in a maze. We've gone up, right? Now we went up again. Now I'm going right again. Now I'm going up again. Up, right, up, right, up, right.
Oh my gosh, this is quite a setup he's got here.
I found something.
Those bird heads must be some kind of strange lever device. Those bird heads must be some kind of strange lever device.
A magnificent machine stands in the center of the cave. A very old man sits sleeping in his chair.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or anything right now.
Okay.
Upon pressing this very important button, all of history can be erased in an instant. This feature will be present in Windows 2000. The flame on this candle was blown out long ago.
Whew.
It's an underground solar lamp with little planetary spheres attached. These large vessels contain cosmic plasma, used to lubricate the gears of the machine. A magnificent machine stands in the center of the cave.
It took you long enough. I've been waiting a long, long time for you.
That's right, it's me. And who, pray tell, are you?
That, my friend, is for me to know, and for you to find out.
Would you then tell me, kind sir, who you are and why you've been waiting such a long, long time?
In good time. Now tell me, have you got the jewels?
You're very presumptuous. What makes you think I have any jewels?
Well, the question is, was this game even out for XP? I think that back in 96 we were still on Windows 98, weren't we? I think so.
I am omnipotent. Therefore, I can afford to be presumptuous, but I cannot afford to be waiting around any longer for those jewels. Now stop playing games with me and hand them over.
The truth is, I don't have any jewels.
Don't play me for a fool, child. Because the truth is, I'm not as dumb as you look. The fact that you're standing here very much alive tells me that you're a liar.
Yes, I confess. I'm not even worthy to be in your presence, O great and benevolent master. I do have some jewels, but not all of them. I beg of you to spare me so that I may be able to give them to you when I return.
I should kill you right here on the spot. Instead, I'm going to spare your miserable little life. In exchange, you're going to get out to get the rest of the jewels. And just like you said, you're going to hand all of them over to me when you return.
Okay, I promise to do that as soon as I get back with all 4 of the jewels. But couldn't you at least tell me who you are?
You will know in good time. Now get out of here. I need to rest.
Those bird heads must be...
This one is stuck. You can't move it.
That's not exactly what I had in mind.
A magnificent machine stands in the center of the cave.
There is the history eraser button.
It is very tempting, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
The candle of time is lit now.
So what?
Quickthorpe cannot use the candle of time.
Can I take it?
Quickthorpe can't take the candle of time.
Oh.
Quickthorpe has no right to be messing around with history.
Oh. Oh. What if Quickthorpe wanted to mess around with history? Alright, so, if I recall correctly, I'm just gonna say right now, I think that guy's the villain. He seems like the villain. Doesn't he seem like the villain? We've been told that there's somebody who's, like, out here messing around. I think that guy's the villain. I don't actually remember for sure. I think that guy's the villain. I think he's bad. I don't think we want to give him the gems at all. I think that's a really bad idea. Let's not do that and say that we did that, because this is a really bad idea. Let's not go this way. I don't know why. Let's just go this way instead, because there's 2 openings right here. And that's weird. That hasn't happened yet. Oh. This one's a complete dead end. Cool story. Alright, we'll go on this way, like I was originally going to do. There's still not going to do any left. Screw left. Left is for... We're going left. We are going left. Do I have any idea where I'm going at all? No. None. We're going down. I'm going down again. There's a hole in the wall. Seems suspicious.
Whatever's there, it looks pretty spooky. I should probably consider avoiding any further investigation of this hole.
Why? It's...
Whatever's there, I should probably...
We're going in. Okay. We went through the hole. Clearly that was the correct choice. Oh, came out of that hole. Am I just trying to bumble my way through the maze? Yes. Yes, I absolutely am. I have a vague idea of where I am in space. I've been kind of sort of keeping track. I'm on like the far left side, probably somewhat close to the middle, if not towards the bottom.
A door at last. Now we're getting somewhere. I get the message already. I can't get the darn thing open.
Okay. I do remember this door. And I do remember him being upset that he can't get the darn thing open.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, it worked in the past. I don't know.
This spear once belonged to Kor the fish god.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. Just beat the door open with your wits.
It's the bent hairpin from the captain's pillow.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, so it's not like locked. He just can't get it open.
A door at last. Now we're getting somewhere. I get the message already. I can't get the darn thing open. That's not exactly what I had in mind.
Alright. Well, maybe that's because there's something somewhere else in the maze that we gotta find first in order for that door to be open. So off we go to explore more possible directions and caverns and things like that as we wander back to the right. Maybe eventually we'll just find our way out of this place. Like that. Just almost exactly like that. Okay. Back in we go. Alright, let's go this way. My idea of where I was in space was very wrong. That's okay. We'll just get back into the maze. We'll get back into the wandering. The exciting wanderings of Quickthorpe. In the maze. Okay, there's that hole. It came out of that hole. At one point. Oh, hey. I found the thing we need.
Look, a crowbar. It's nothing really special, though I could bash in a few heads with it.
I love how that's...
Yeah, I've got the power.
That's the first thing he goes to. It's nothing special, though I could bash in a few heads with it. Okay. Great. Great, Quickthorpe. Just great.
A door at last. Now we're getting somewhere.
We need to pull out our crowbar.
It's the crowbar you found in the tunnel.
Ooh. Use it with the door.
That did the trick.
Sure did. Apparently we kept our crowbar. If I recall correctly, this is another spot where you get very shocked as to what happens next. Yeah, you go through the broken door, and suddenly, we're in Star Trek. What has happened? No one knows.
This large window displays a lovely view of the south side of the universe.
Now, this makes a lot more sense when you realize the world that we're in, okay? What you need to realize is that we are currently in the Engulfed Fortress. Okay? That's where we currently are. We are currently inside the Engulfed Fortress. The Engulfed Fortress, remember that we're on this, like, blown up planet where the planet is only, like, one landmass that's, like, a little bit on top, and it goes down just a little ways, and that's it. So any sea on that landmass would, like, the sea could go down into space. Could very easily be on the other side of the sea. It doesn't have to be super deep of the way that this world is barely holding together for space to be on the other side of the water. So that's what's going on here. Space is on the other side. We're on the bottom of their planet now. Well, what's left of it. Their rock.
Her name is Viverne, and she's got looks that kill.
She actually looks darn sexy up close. The makeup probably helps a lot. Honey, I'm home.
Welcome to my chamber, foolish mortal. Before you die, please tell me how you found me.
With a little luck and my cool Quickthorpe charm.
Well, your luck has just run out.
And we're dead. No, not the intro. If I recall correctly,
Honey,
talking to her with any option is the wrong choice to do. You just die.
I'm a man who walks tall and carries a big stick.
You might have a big stick, but tall.
Tall or small, I'm afraid to say that one of us must fall.
You speak of falling as if it were the end. I've already seen the end. I found nothing but the beginning of an eternity of mutilated evil.
Would you mind rephrasing that last bit? I'm a little confused here.
I came from your world a long time ago. It was a beautiful world then, till the Mechubars came to play their secret games. We, your people, were captive slaves by the Mechubars. They possessed a secret power by which they could channel their energy and travel through many worlds.
And you tried to discover what their great secret power was, right?
All we Balkanians wanted was to gain back our freedom. It was believed that the key was in discovering their secret.
As I understand it, the key to the Mechubar's secret is in fact a special gold key which holds 4 precious jewels.
I see that you've done your homework. In fact, the key was only a link to the Mechubar's power. The problem is we never found the secret. As we were betrayed by our leader, the Mechubars captured us and destroyed our planet. Since then, the 4 of us have been exiled to our shattered worlds. Our double-crossing leader was the only one to escape.
But who was your leader?
His name was Ishmael. It still hurts me to mention his name. He was a good man, and a hard one too. I loved him, you know.
Where is your leader now?
If only I knew, I'd tear his eyes out. But he's been in hiding all this time.
So all of this mess is your fault. You make me sick. I should kill you right now.
Yes. Please kill me. I can't keep it in any longer. End my torture and return my soul.
That's just what I plan to do. But how?
Any way you can. Use your big stick if you have to.
No problem. But I'll have to take it out first.
Yeah, so this scene is one of the scenes that I always remember that makes me feel like the game was a little rushed. It seems like there was meant to be a way to get into the Engulfed Fortress through the front and then go through a maze that leads you here. But instead, there's no way through the Engulfed Fortress, and the maze is just underneath in that cave, and you just kind of go through the maze there, and then you're here, and it's kind of a bit of a disconnect. It's always been one of the things that made me think like this game might have been a little on the rush side, is because the underwater segment doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's really hard to tell that I'm in the Engulfed Fortress right now, and that like because the upper area up here has like fish swimming by, like there's a fish right there, and it's like got some bubbles to try and like really subtly tell you that you're underwater. But I think that wasn't supposed to have to be subtle, because I think you were expected to know that you're underwater in the Engulfed Fortress still. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make a lot of sense because we were just on the room outside the maze is the room that goes back up to the town we were in before we took the ship in the first place. So the spatial orientation doesn't make a lot of sense, and it causes you to get really confused as to like where you are and what you're actually doing. The only reason you can actually know for sure that this is the Engulfed Fortress is because this is the Gorgon, as it says on the bottom of the screen, and if you look at her...
name is Viverne, and she's got looks that kill.
He tells you that it's Viverne, which you know is the person who was in the Engulfed Fortress. You know that's the underwater lady, and she looks like a Medusa eel. So it's the only reason that you actually can really, like, if you put your brain to it, you can identify where you are. But we already have been sort of figuring out that the Mechubars came from space and they enslaved humans. So the Mechubars are some kind of advanced alien race that came to this planet and basically enslaved everyone. And these guys that we've been killing, the beasts, were 4 people who, with their leader, Ishmael, tried to get the secrets of the Mechubars and tried to get their technology to fight back and become free. And because they attempted to do so, the Mechubars punished them, turned them all into these beasts, and then blew up the planet. and left. This is literally what they did. And there's something about saving this planet that has to
This
do
key must
with
go in
this
something or someplace special.
with these 4 gems, which we don't know much about. Yes, actually it really truly does. You have to kind of be willing to put a lot of it together for yourself, which, you know, take it or leave it. Some people don't like that. Some people like to have everything given to them on a silver platter. But there is more story. We're not done yet. We're only in the 3rd area. There is a 4th area to the game. It's not like it's that rushed. There's more. But the answer to this puzzle is also fairly simple. Just like the quote-unquote boss before her, we just use our spear on space. And for some reason, she just falls through the spear. It breaks over there, and she goes on through. I mean, she goes on through because she was hovering over it, and now there's a vacuum there. But why are we not pulled through? I don't know. I have no idea. I will tell you, if you listen very closely to the background sound, you can hear the Star Trek The Next Generation warp core in the background. I'm not talking about the computer sounds. Those computer sounds are a different computer sound. They're not the standard Next Generation one. Although some of the Next Generation ones might be mixed in with it. But the actual, like, the hum in the background, it has this, like, wom, 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 wom. That is Engineering's, in Next Generation, that is Engineering's idle sound that they play whenever they're in whenever they're in Engineering. That idle sound of the warp core is always playing for any scene in Engineering in Next Generation. And it is used in this room. I just always like to point that one out. It's kind of funny to me.
There it is, and she's a beauty. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
This sapphire is the precious stone that gives the power to rule the Engulfed Fortress.
Ho-hum, 3 down and 1 to go.
And so this is not a laser beam. This is a telescope.
With this telescope, one can see little people dancing in the streets on a planet in a faraway galaxy.
I never actually, when I was first trying to solve this puzzle, I always thought that this was a laser beam, like a laser cannon, because it's pointed like directly at her head. And I always kind of thought you were supposed to figure out how to fire this. And so this puzzle took me a really long time to figure out, because legitimately you just hit the window with the spear. So I was always trying to figure out how to fire the laser.
One could also see the mysteries of the universe. This large window displays a lovely view of the south side of the universe. All you can see with the naked eye is a bunch of stars.
Yeah, and that it's broken.
I wonder what this highly sophisticated switch mechanism is used for. The switch appears to be in the up position now. This switch must be controlling something in the exterior.
Probably the laser beam.
Now, where have I seen this design before?
That's right. It looks like the Mechabar's key.
That doesn't do anything at all.
Wait, is this actually...
Rats. It doesn't want to work. Rats. It doesn't...
Okay, hold on. Do I have to have...
I don't think that's a good idea.
Do I have to have put the sapphire in it, or do we need all 4 in there before we can...
This fits perfectly. Rats. It doesn't want...
Okay. So remember that this was here, because legitimately, I don't actually know that we ever get the chance to come back. Right. Okay, so we pulled that lever. Now that we pulled that lever, I believe... I'm not sure. I think we now leave the maze. somehow. Shit. One way or another, we leave the maze. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh, we're back here. Okay. Well, we're back. That's useful, right? This is the direction. Did I want to go right here? And then right one more time. Yeah, this is the first room. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. I really don't think there's a reason for us to go back up to the city. Like, we might be able to get some more info. Let's do it just for the possibility of story. It's going down. Oh!
It stopped moving.
Because that's what the lever does. The lever changed the elevator direction.
Route 666. I like the way that sounds. Kind of evil. Welcome to the land of shadows. They're definitely not having a population explosion down there.
Current population? They've just X'd out the numbers in front of 5. So this is,
Darn it, the platform's stuck.
This is one of those also somewhat simple solutions.
I can't operate the platform this way.
It's kind of a
It makes a
funny
nice
one.
security blanket.
It makes a nice security blanket, and it also makes a nice Aladdin blanket. Down we go! Easy peasy.
It looks like the control switch for the elevator platform.
Quickthorpe confidently maneuvers the switch to the on position.
So now we'd be able to go back if we wanted to.
This must be some kind of private joke, and I'm not getting it. They look so real, it's kind of creepy.
It's a strange-looking gate.
Nice fangs. I can't wait to see it open its mouth.
Let's save.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Captain Dawnraiser.
Access denied.
Oh.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The Candyman.
Access denied.
Oh.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The Boogeyman.
Please enter.
Like I was going to give him my real name.
It's a strange-looking gate.
The Boogeyman works.
Looky here, Bull. There's a new kid in town. Let's be nice and show him to his room.
Oh. Well.
At
We're
least they've
here
got
now.
mail service down here. The aforementioned infidel has been found guilty of trespassing the lost city for no good reason whatsoever and is hereby sentenced to life imprisonment. The
Quickthorpe cannot use. Quickthorpe takes the note with charges.
It looks just like the plates we use when having picnics.
Quickthorpe takes the plastic plate.
It kind of reminds me of my baby spoon. Now all I have to do is find another spoon and I could play She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain just like Grandpa.
Great. What a good time to be making jokes.
There's something weird about that part of the floor, or we're experiencing major perspective problems here. At least I've got a nice view of hell. I don't see anything else of interest.
It's true.
It's the only door in this prison cell. The lock on this door looks brand new. Those guards are idiots, but they are pretty tight on security. So I stick my pinky in and she opens up, right? I think not.
Think not.
That doesn't do anything. Not even my bent hairpin will pick this lock. This is not looking good.
Nope, sure ain't. I'm taking this cup. I'm gonna look at it first.
Yep, it's a couple, right? I don't see anything else of interest.
Quickthorpe surreptitiously takes the cup.
It's not the most comfortable looking bed I've ever seen.
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
There's something weird about that part of the floor, or we're experiencing major perspective problems here.
A closer look reveals nothing more.
That's not exactly what I had in mind.
I remember right. This is one of those ones where you just do what you would do in like a really old.
That doesn't do anything.
This is the old dig yourself out with a spoon solution. So now we are out. We have a plate.
I can't imagine why there's a stool in here. Monday night poker with the guards, maybe? I imagine these tables have been put to good use over the years. I wonder what they do there. It's too hot for anyone to consider a fire here. I don't see anything else of interest. I really couldn't be bothered.
Oh, okay. Really
There's
couldn't be
dead
bothered.
people everywhere I go. There's dead people. I don't see the point in taking that. From the looks of his beard, I'd say this guy's been here a while. He's either sleeping or just stone dead. I've come to free you. He's not responding. Can you hear me? I said you're free. Still nothing. Wake up, I say. You're saved. You can go home. I don't get it. He's either deaf, dumb, or dead.
Oh, well, he looks awake now.
Poor old guy. It looks like he's been here a long time. My name's Quickthorpe. I'm with the cable company.
What in tarnation is a cable company?
I was just kidding. Seriously, though, could I borrow a few minutes of your precious time? I won't be long.
You woke me up from a 30-year nap to borrow a few minutes of my precious time. I'll kill you, you little rat. I'll tell you.
Oh.
Poor old guy. He's finally kicked the bucket.
Well, I'll be... There's a key in his pocket. The old bugger had probably forgotten all about it.
Yep. It's a key, all right. I've got the key. Let's hope it's the one to the door.
I wonder if I could have gotten any other info out of him. That might have been something to find out. I can't use any symbols at all. Alright. I guess we'll just call it 3 then. That's fine. Because I want to load. Yeah, see, that's before I even went in. Alright, well, whatever. That's what we got out of him. I was with the cable company.
And of course, there's a lock on the door. It looks like the lock is completely melted from the heat. It looks like the lock is completely melted from the heat.
Well, don't you worry. That key is for some reason to our door too. It's probably like a master key.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's the key you found on the old dead prisoner. A closer look reveals nothing more.
But we can
that
use it.
That doesn't do anything. They put in a brand new lock, but it uses the same old key. These guards are operating at a very high level.
Very high level. It's the highest level.
I don't believe it. They're having a coffee break.
This is Bill. He's Bull's twin brother.
I don't believe it. They're having a coffee break.
This is Bull. He's Bill's twin brother.
I don't feel like talking to anyone or any...
I can talk to the other one.
Could I have one of your official ID cards?
Shucks, I forgot mine this morning.
Do you have yours, Bull?
Why, yes, I do. Here you go, pal. But please don't look at my picture. It's mighty embarrassing. I'm looking a bit overweight. Photos always add about 5 pounds, you know.
No problem.
Why did I get what?
Can you please tell me where I am?
You're here with us in the land of shadows. Do you have any other silly questions?
Nope. I don't know why you gave me your key card, but I'm taking it. Bye.
I don't suppose there's any good fishing in there. It's nothing at all like the river near my village.
No, it's not.
I've always wanted a dog like that. I'll bet it could eat one-et's poodle in one chomp.
He's cute and cuddly, with healthy-looking teeth. Quickthorpe should not pet strange dogs.
Okay, you know, fair enough, right? Fair enough. Quickthorpe really probably should not pet strange dogs. Well, there's a door over here.
This door would probably be leading back to the cell with the old fella. So close to freedom, but still so far away. I don't see anything else of interest. This bridge is spectacular, but it does not look safe, if you ask me.
Well then, what's in this room over here? If the old fellow was in that room back there, what's in this room over here?
It's the door to one of the prison cells.
A closer look reveals nothing.
That's not exactly what I had in mind.
Oh.
Yes, I'm looking at a gate. So what about it?
It's no use. You're trapped here for good.
Huh. That line's dialogue text box was written for Quickthorpe to say that. But it wasn't Quickthorpe who said it. It's interesting.
These houses look kind of like the ones in my village. They must have sunken down to the underworld after the big explosion.
Can we just like use
I've got to figure out a way to get across that gap.
True. Really do.
This bridge is spectacular, but it does not look safe if you ask me. I've read about these aqueduct systems. They were built by our forefathers to carry water across the valleys. You don't see many of these around anymore.
This game doesn't let you jump off cliffs. We do use the spear. All right, here we go. Our big stick. We even kept the spear. That's one hell of a thing. He was able to hold on to the spear after doing that. How amazing is Quickthorpe? Holy moly. Oh boy. No, don't talk to him yet. I want to look at him first. I always want to look at him
The Grim
first.
Reaper's name is Von Hexter. He's in charge of the Hell Rail. Von Hexter also happens to be the personal bodyguard of Jax, the fire demon.
It is incredibly, disgustingly, horribly hot down here.
'Tis a lovely day, isn't it?
Do you know where I can find the fire demon? I've got a message for him.
Tell me the message. I'll be sure that he gets it.
I'd rather deliver it myself.
You're still going to need proper authority to cross over.
I believe I have that.
With this, I should be able to get into any bar around here. Not that I've seen any. I don't see anything else of interest.
I don't recall ever seeing you here before. You must be one of the new guard recruits. Okay, you can pass.
The lava river is boiling at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything coming into contact with it would vaporize in 2 nanoseconds.
2?
I don't see anything else of interest.
It's the only safe way to get across the river Styx.
Stinks. The river stinks. Such a simple yet effective joke. Well, alright.
You're not one of my guards. What are you doing down here?
Just a routine inspection. I'll be on my way.
Stay away if you know what's good for you.
I was just thinking the same thing to myself.
Now, try thinking yourself away from here.
Okie dokie.
Stay away.
I'm not looking for any trouble. I just want the ruby.
Funny people are the most annoying.
And we're dead. What if I was just trying to get some info, Mr. Fire Demon Chax? What if I just wanted some info, dude?
Stay away.
I really expected someone more evil looking.
I expected someone with a notch more intelligence.
Well, fine, dude. Just murder me. No conversation for me, I guess.
This guy does not look very friendly.
He doesn't look like a wimp either.
Oh. Alright, so how do we beat the fire demon?
It's the plastic picnic plate that you took from the prison cell. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
I should keep it for the right time, or that special someone... I don't think that's a good idea.
You know, throw like a saucer. It can't be the spear again, right? Like,
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
At least this time, he doesn't think that's a good idea. You know? That's good. It's not just use the spear. I think there's legitimately nothing else in the room that you can do anything with other than the fire demon. Is it
It's the
shield?
polished and shiny version of the old rusty battle shield.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, we don't use the shield. Let's see. What else might we use against him?
This fashionable helmet used to belong to Kor, the fish god.
I don't think that's a good idea.
The jewels are so fake, they almost look real.
I honestly don't really remember what you do here. Do you want some fake jewels?
I don't think that's a good... I should keep it for the right time.
It's the cup you found in the prison cell. It's the crowbar you found in the tunnel. What a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. It's the flask you took from the lizard guard's tower. The ancient tablet, with its two pieces reunited, displays some mysterious inscription. It's the spirit of Cymbeline. This piece of grass symbolizes the hidden spring of Balkane. These blue bulbs are the fruits from which dreams are made.
We may very well not actually have it yet.
It's the crowbar you found in the tunnel. This fashionable helmet used to belong. This spear once belonged to Kor the fish god.
I'm not entirely sure what it might be that we need, though.
You must be sweating like a pig under that robe.
You get used to it after a while. It's the prisoners I feel sorry for. It's like an oven in those cells.
Let them suffer is what I say. Speaking of prisoners, I've come down looking for one that's escaped.
Why haven't the guards sounded the alarm?
Good question. They must be on coffee break again.
That's typical of those idiots. Not to worry, though. No one can escape this hellhole.
Oh.
Can you tell me what's on the other side of the bridge?
I can't tell you that. That would be cheating.
You're bloody well right. I guess I'll just have to find out for myself.
Oh.
Can you tell me?
It's the only safe way to get across the river Styx.
Alright, well, let's go and see if there was something that I missed. Because I can't think of anything I have right now that seems like it would be the right item against him.
Bill and Bull tend to leave their spears leaning casually against the wall when having their coffee.
I don't believe it. They're having a coffee break. I've already got a spear, and I don't need two. I don't believe it. They're having a...
The guards are too busy gossiping like old ladies to pay any attention to Quickthorpe.
Okay, well... The only other place to go is back into your cell. Was there something on this skeleton?
Just look at these losers. I can't believe anyone would let themselves go to hell like this. I don't see anything else of interest.
Shit. I might have missed something.
How quaint.
Might have missed something in here? With the other old guy? I mean...
Frankly, I can't see when I'd ever need a puny little stool like this.
Yeah, me either. Does this bench have something on it? I didn't really look at it.
It really looks like these tables have been put to good use over the years.
No.
I don't suppose there's any chance of me escaping through this window.
I don't even need to. We've got the door open.
Poor old guy. He's finally kicked the bucket. I don't see anything else of interest. I wonder what they do there. It's too hot for anyone to consider a fire here.
Quickthorpe is not able...
That is not on my list. I don't see anything else of interest. I imagine these tables have been put to good use over the years. I can't imagine why there's a stool in here. Monday night poker with the guards, maybe?
I must have what I need, right? Seems like it.
I've always wanted a dog like that. I'll bet that's not exactly what I had.
He's cute and cuddly. Quickthorpe should not pet.
He's cute and cuddly. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I think whatever it is I'm supposed to do, I think I probably already have it.
Can you tell your bloody...
So we can walk around the room, and we can go into our inventory, and we can talk to him, and we can look at him.
This guy does not look very friendly.
He doesn't look like a wimp either.
And that's about it.
Stay away.
I was just thinking the same thing to myself.
Now, try thinking yourself away from here.
I don't think that's a good idea. That doesn't do anything.
I do not remember the answer to this one at all. I have no idea what I have in my inventory that could even be used against it. I honestly have no clue. So we are going to save everyone a little bit of time here, especially since it's getting close to the end of the night. And I'm just gonna go find out. Oh. Really? Oh. That's weird. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay. We need to go back across. So, wonder if you can use the bottles.
That was a completely stupid thing to do. That was a completely stupid...
Oh. Was it? Because this isn't.
This kryptonite is great stuff. I can't even feel the heat on my hands.
Did it tell me that it was?
It's the cup you found in the...
I don't see anything else of interest. I don't see anything else of interest.
I didn't know it was kryptonite cup. Does it say it's a kryptonite cup? But yes, you fill the cup with 3,000 degree lava. And then you take the cup full of 3,000 degree lava and you throw it at him. And then the fire demon burns and dies.
It's the cup you found in the prison cell.
I don't see anything else of interest. I don't think that's a good idea. There it is, the ruby in all its fiery splendor. I don't see anything else of interest.
The catacombs are where all spare body parts and detached pieces are stored. The catacombs are where all spare body parts and detached pieces are stored.
Well, take the ruby.
I should take all these stones and do a runner. Who's ever gonna know? Nah, I'm the hero, and heroes are honest.
Now we have
It's
ruby.
the ruby you have taken from the fire demon. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Well, we can take the ruby, and we can...
This fits perfectly.
This key must go in something or someplace special.
Remember, Quickthorpe, this key is the future of your people. An orthopedic sliding rack is used to assure maximum comfort for the victim. A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Yeah, that's what it's for, all right.
The heat coming out of there is blazing. I can't stay in here for too long. The heat coming out...
Contrary to popular belief, all victims have their skin gently removed before they are sacrificed over the fire demon's pit.
Oh. Nice. That's, that's kind of him. Nice and gentle with it. Not entirely sure how we're gonna get out of here. Maybe death is, maybe Grim Reaper here. This is not death, he's like Von Hexen.
Can you tell me?
I can't.
You're bloody...
Nope, he has nothing to say about it. Okay, well. How the heck do we get out of here? Can we just ask the guards? Like, hey?
The guards are too busy.
Okay. Can we use the gate now?
It's no use. You're trapped here for good.
Okay.
This key must go in something or someplace special. I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. I thought maybe now that it had all the gems it'd be like magical or something, no? I wonder if, like, okay, hold on. We're gonna go back. Maybe there was like a secret door in the like the catacombs or something that were here.
The catacombs are where all spare body parts and detached pieces are stored.
Oh, yes. There's a secret hole right there. And now we're out. Hooray! Hooray! Let's take the platform.
Quickthorpe can't take the...
Quickthorpe sure can use the elevator platform. Alright, so I believe at this point we now have two choices. We can go to the old guy who has the erase history button. And just give him the gems. That's gotta be a bad idea. Or we can go put the key in the slot that it is very obviously there for us to put the key in.
It looks like the way to another.
Either way, we gotta go back to the frickin' maze. So, because it's the derpiest idea, let's go give the old guy all the gems. We said we would.
Hey there, old man, wake up!
It's you again. Well, have you found what I've been looking for?
What? Do I look like a mind reader to you?
I'm not interested in your stupid remarks. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, it's not quite that simple, you see.
Do you have any idea how important those jewels are to me?
No.
I don't believe you for a second. You're a lousy liar.
Oh, we can confront him. Let's do it.
You should talk, you filthy double-crossing scum. I know all about your slimy scheme.
What in the land of shadows is that supposed to mean?
I've been trying to be diplomatic about the whole thing, but you give me no choice. The truth is, I've been wise to your ways for some time now, so I think you should explain yourself before I even consider giving you any jewels. So go ahead, I'm listening. I want the truth.
I don't know how much you really know, but you're a lot smarter than I've given you credit for. Anyway, it was a long time ago. Mind you, I was a young man then. It all seemed a good thing at the beginning when the Mecubars had just come to our planet. They were a race of astral beings that had come to Volcane through a kind of gateway. They called themselves the World Walkers. They were extremely gentle creatures for the most part. The most remarkable thing about them, apart from their extremely advanced technology, was that they existed as luminous orbs. They could travel out of body simply because they had no body, no flesh, that is.
What?
They were pure energy and living light, which is why they needed us humans, you see.
I've heard of these Mecubars in my travels. They sound really cool. Tell me more.
We've met one. We have one in our pocket.
They had all the power and technology to do anything, and yet they seemed completely helpless. Or rather useless without us. It's as if the Mecubars needed us humans to act out all their fantasies and to give meaning to their existence.
I don't mean to be flippant, but I know someone who does this for me, and she isn't a Mecubar. But go on, please.
If that's singular.
As I was saying, it so happened that in my younger days, I was an assistant to the scribe of the Mecubarian High Priest. I was forced to participate and enact some bizarre rituals and ceremonies of the Mecubars. I can tell you, clear as you're standing there, I saw some amazing things. In the obscure arcanes of the Mecubars' secret ceremonies, I came to understand that they had some kind of mysterious technology. I was certain that their technology, which I believe is locked away in the archives, allowed the Mecubars to walk the worlds throughout all the universe. But above all, the real power that I was looking for was their secret key to immortality. To live forever. This, my son, is what I've been after for what already seems to be an eternity.
It doesn't look like you've got much more time left.
How incredibly perceptive you are. You can see that I am now very old with barely enough strength left to breathe. This is why I convinced your village priest to send someone from the village to look for the jewels and the golden key that holds the jewels. The Mecubar's golden key with the 4 jewels is the only way into those archives. It is in those archives where the great secret of the Mecubars is hidden. But then you must know all that by now, a bright young man like yourself.
I didn't exactly know that last bit, but I think everything is starting to fall into place now. So, in fact, all of this has been one big setup from the very beginning. What really pisses me off is that our village priest knew about it all along.
So I cut him in on the deal.
He was supposed to say, is that so bad?
Everyone has their price, my friend, including you. But then all are accountable in the end. If you give me those jewels with the golden key, I promise you the way to infinite wisdom and immortality. I can't think of a better deal than that. After all, your soul is such a small price to pay.
Is that what you promised the village priest? And what about your friends who were turned into beasts?
So things didn't work out as I planned. Is that my fault? It was those damned Mecubars. They're the ones that started this mess in the first place. So tell me, what's it going to be for you, my son? Death or glory?
It was a nice story. Have you considered doing the movie?
That was a nice story. Have you considered making the movie? I especially like the death and glory options for the grand finale, but I can't for the life of me figure out why I should share my glory with you, old man. In fact, I'm going to leave you here to stink and rot.
No, you can't do this to me. Come back here.
Rip. Literally, it's rip. Oh, not a new game. Oh, son of
I've had
I've enough of this chit chat. I'm going now. Oh, crap. We have to go back to the maze to get to that.
It looks like the...
We have to go back to the conversation. Ah! So you may have noticed we're like at the end. We will probably beat this before I quit tonight. So this is going to be one of those like 2-part videos. This is like the hour and a half I played last night, and then just now we're just there and done. It's a pretty short game, especially if you know what you're doing. It's not...
Hey there, old man, wake up.
It's you again.
No.
I don't...
You should... What? I've been trying the truth, so I'm so... I've heard it. I don't...
But
it doesn't... I did so... What? Is that so? Here, take the jewels and the gold key.
Yes. Yes, at last. All the jewels are mine after all these years. And now you, like all the others, must die.
And rip. We get murdered. Apparently spacebar opens the inventory. I didn't know that. Is there a button for opening that? Hey, there is. This whole time I didn't know that. We haven't had to exit out every time. I could have just pressed enter to open game options. I didn't know. Now I do.
Hey there, old man, wait. No? Yes, it's true I'm a lousy liar. Tell me more.
There's not much else to say, is there? You must now recant and hand over those jewels and the extra-large key along with them.
You should talk about the truth, so I but it doesn't look... I did so... What's everybody? Is that so? I'll have to think about that one.
And then we can just kind of walk out. Yes. If you try to tell him screw off, or you try to tell him, or you try to give it to him, he kills you. If you just walk away, then you're fine. Nothing happens. You just kind of walk away. And everything's chill. It's fine. What could go wrong? And so now we just come here and, you know, use the key.
Okay. Now, what are you supposed to do?
Go in, not load. Save game. And,
Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
A closer look reveals nothing more of interest.
Okie dokie.
These are the backup tapes, where all unrecorded, non-historical events that could ever happen are stored.
I don't see anything else of interest. These chairs look really comfortable.
The personalized anti-epileptic holograph viewports are to be used only while sitting in the zero-gravity chairs. The personalized
Okay. So this, as it said...
These are the backup tapes, where all unrecorded, non-historical events that could ever happen are stored.
All non-historical events that could ever happen.
Quickthorpe cannot use the particle streamer in this manner.
Okay. The dilithium crystal television.
I'll bet you can get a lot of channels with all those knobs. I really like the wide flat screen style.
Quickthorpe has no knowledge of television repair.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess we'll use one of the chairs.
I'm not going to sit down there. The seat is really worn out.
Well, what about this one?
If I remember my script properly, there's something I've got to do first.
Oh? There is? What do we gotta do? We gotta take out old man McGee. I think we might have to take out old man McGee first. Hold on, everybody. We gotta go take out old man McGee. We can't sit down in the chair with old man McGee out there. We gotta stop him. Why? I don't know. He's old and can't do anything, but we're gonna stop him. We're gonna stop his ass. We're stopping him. Hold on. That's what we're gonna do right now. I think. I don't know how. But I think that's probably what we have to do.
A magnificent machine stands in the center of the cave.
Okay, I'm looking at it. So what about it?
This one is stuck. You can't move it.
That doesn't do anything. I don't think that's a good idea. That doesn't do anything. I don't think that's a good... That doesn't do anything. Those bird heads must be some kind of strange lever device. Those bird heads must be some kind of strange lever device.
A magnificent machine.
I've no idea how to operate this machine.
Upon pressing this it is very tempting, isn't it?
Okay, I'm looking at it.
Quickthorpe cannot use. Quickthorpe can't take the candle of time. It's the spirit of Cymbeline.
That doesn't do anything. I don't think that's a good idea. I should keep it for the right time, or that's...
Don't even think of it.
Oh. Okay.
I should keep it for the right time, or that special someone who comes along.
I mean, that made sense, though, right?
I don't think that's a good idea. That doesn't do anything.
Don't even think.
That doesn't do anything.
Give him the fake jewels?
That doesn't do anything.
That doesn't do
A
anything.
magnificent machine. These large vessels contain cosmic plasma, used to lubricate the gears of the machine.
Okay.
These large vessels contain cosmic plasma, used to lubricate the gears of the machine.
I can't use the cosmic plasma vessels. I can't see myself sticking those in my pockets. That doesn't do anything.
Oh.
The jewels are so fake, they almost look real.
I honestly don't remember doing anything with this guy.
It's an underground solar lamp with little planetary spheres attached. The little spheres represent other neighboring planets around Volcane.
I honestly don't. I don't remember doing a darn thing with him. Don't have...
A magnificent machine stands...
Hey there, old man, wait!
It's you again. What?
What? No. You should... I've been... So go... I've heard... I don't... But... It doesn't...
We did a major thing.
What? Is that so? I'll have to think about that one.
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know what the game wants. But I want to beat this before I go to bed tonight, and I need to go to bed sort of soon. So, let's just find out. Okay, I figured it out. I can't believe that's all it is. They could have had a little bit better of a line to tell me that when I was there. I'm glad I didn't overwrite my file. Yeah, you don't do anything to him. See this little tiny red button right here?
It looks like a start button.
There's a start button.
I don't see anything else of interest.
And you have to push it.
I just love pressing buttons to see what happens. What's that noise?
Now that we pushed the button, we can use the chair.
Good morning, Quickthorpe. How's my favorite master of the Matrix doing today? You know, I still can't figure out how you ever managed to merge your entire family with a frozen mackerel at the age of 3. You're a special case, all right. Anyway, I guess there's no need to remind you. Today's your special day. The big 2-1. The rest of the prisoners have all chipped in for your cake. Triple layer chunky chocolate maggot. Your favorite. See you next year.
What? Why did I got like a bad end? Oh, I think I got a bad end because I was evil. I think I got the bad end because I was evil. I did a lot of evil actions. Yes, I think that might be what it was. I'm not positive. I don't know what causes certain endings in this game. I didn't even know there was another ending. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. I got this for you. 1 second. Let's see. Let's find out. Because I got a very different ending. I don't even know how that happened. I didn't know there were multiple endings. I wonder if I like did something wrong or what, but what I can do is I can go Fable 1996 the long play. And we can make this fit the screen again. Transform, fit to screen. Boop. And there's the long play here. I'm sure they did not get the same ending. Oh, this is someone's. Okay, hold on. It's not the one I wanted. Here we go.
You poor. Why, yes, Bill.
Anyway, I guess there's no need to remind you. Today's your special day.
Oh, he got the same ending I did.
3.
Wait, but that's not. I'm so confused. I didn't know there were multiple endings. I'm gonna have to try to figure this out, but I don't have time to like actually figure it out right now. I was unaware that there were different endings. What? That's not the ending I'm used to at all. Original and alternate ending. Here we go.
Good morning, Quickthorpe. How's my favorite master of the Matrix doing? Okay. Now, what are you supposed to do?
Is there something different that he did coming into the room? No, he's just kind of.
I just love pressing.
Okay, so none of the text is in our language, so you'll have to just kind of deal with that. I apologize. Yeah, this is what I thought was gonna happen. This is what I expected. Oh, is it because we'd like turned on his machine and talked to him? And if you do that, it makes you have the bad end? That might be. Which would be very strange because legitimately, like, talking to him is a huge part of the story, getting you the storyline. He tells you a lot of information, so if you have to not talk to him to get the good ending, that's kind of weird. And then there's lots of hearts that come out. And then that's the ending I'm used to. The one that seems incredibly rushed, where he does something with the machine and it causes some static electricity stuff, and then the bad guy just dies, and then you go back and you get the girl. That's it. So, what I'm going to say right now, while I turn this down a little bit, because it's not sounding very good from theirs. Fable has a very rushed end. I feel like the entire, everything from the water area onward has always felt really rushed to me. This game had potential to be something much better than it was, but I played this as a child. It was one of my first point-and-click adventure games, and the humor of the main character just, I don't know, it just sticks with me for some reason. I don't know why I even like this game when I play it again now. I play this game through, and I look at it, and I think it's a very mediocre, not so great point-and-click adventure game, to be quite honest. It really isn't that great, but I like it for some reason. I really truly do. Its storyline doesn't make a lot of sense. They don't really tell you most of it. It seems like they had a much bigger idea than they actually ended up having the budget or time to make. A lot of the puzzles have solutions that don't make a lot of sense, and a lot of times, like, they're kind of almost the same. Like, you use the spear to beat 2 bosses, and one of the times you just literally just throw the spear at a snake and he dies. That's it. That's the whole solution of the puzzle. It's weird, right? This game is very strange. I will say they don't explain it very well, but what is happening to Quickthorpe at the end with the weird thing that comes down and then he's like all super powered, that is actually giving him the complete knowledge of the Mechubars, as I understand it. So basically that it's if you've seen Stargate SG-1, it's like the machine that O'Neill gets his head sucked into at one point that just downloads information into his brain. It's one of those, basically. Yeah, this being my introduction to point and clicks was very strange, but this was, in fact, my introduction game to point and click adventures. I don't think I had played one before I played this. And it's definitely not the best one out there. Definitely not. But hey, it's a game. We played it. We beat it. I have no idea what's going to happen on Sunday night. Luckily, I have 2 more days to figure that out. 2.5 days, 3 days, basically, to figure that out. If you're in the Discord or you want to be in the Discord, if you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment and I could always put a link in the description. I probably won't do that on its own, so you'll have to ask for it in the comments to YouTube people if you want to be on the Discord. The Discord is mostly about what I do with my streams, and I may put a poll up on there for something of what could happen next. I have a few ideas, but I'm not positive, so we'll see. I haven't really figured it out. I'm hoping that I don't end up with some decision paralysis, because I might. That happens quite often when I finish games. I end up with decision paralysis on the next game. So yeah, the bad one. Yeah, it's not great. There's a here. Let me go back to it. There's a YouTube here. It's the bad one. Fable, the bad one. yeah, it is sort of not good. But these are my chili peppers now. And also, don't you ever forget it in response to, you took my lollipop. You took my lollipop. Don't you ever forget it. Oh, okay. All right. Take it easy, everybody. It's 10:30. I'm going to head to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed Fable for what it was worth. I have other point-and-click adventures that I might play. I don't know if we'll go directly into another point-and-click adventure. I have never played through a couple of... there's a couple series of point-and-click adventure games that I've never played through that I feel I would possibly enjoy, but I don't know that I want to go from one point-and-click to another one on stream that fast. Although this only took one sitting, so I might be willing to do so, especially since some of these other games are a little short. And I think I already know what to do in some of them because I've like watched them played before. So, but I'm not positive. But anyways, I'll figure something out. See you all Sunday night, if not sooner. I don't know what's going on for me Saturday, so take it easy. When it happens, I'll see you all then. Have a good one.